following podcast is being brought to you by the Defy Life Podcast Network.
This week on the Defy Life podcast, the guys have a big announcement. They follow up on last week's discussion on social media, talk NFL Week 7, and give their NBA season projections. As always, they answer listener questions and wrap things up with some trivia. On to the show. Let's get it.
Yeah, that's what it is. I guess we gotta do it then. You alright? Check. Pool. Out. Money. West Coast. Let's get it. Strap in, let's take a ride. Oh yeah, it's about that time, right? Been waiting all week to get to this. It's finally time to defy life. Let's chop it up, keep it trail, no other way. That's what we do. We might disagree, but it's all love. Guarantee we gon' speak the truth. Yeah, this hit different. My guys with me now. Who's with us? Stick around for a few minutes. It's contagious. You'll get it. You downloaded the realest. Don't feel us, forget out. You not rocking with Defy Life, then what's your life about? This ain't the Defy Life. Told you. This is the Shy Life. I'm gonna let this ride out though. This is the Defy Life. This is the Defy Life. Welcome back to the Defy Life Podcast, powered by the Defy Life Podcast Network. Thank you for listening. You can find us on all your favorite podcast platforms, and now we're also available at defylifepods.com. As always, we encourage you to like, subscribe, and give us a 5-star rating whenever you listen. You can also find us on all social media platforms at Go Defy Life. This episode is sponsored by Bud Bottles, home of the Bud Bottle and the Bud Freshener. Please visit budbottles.com for your odor eliminating needs. This is episode 130, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, J.R. Glenf, joined as always by my wonderful co-host, Alvin Glenf, Gerald Hedrick, West Coast J, the one and only Yosh. What's good, Al?
My man. What's going on, homie?
Hey, nothing, man. What's good with you?
Man, doing good, bro. This is one of the best weeks of the year. I feel good about this time every year where all 4 sports are active. And it only happened while this World Series is going on. But right. This is just a great time. October is kind of dope like that, where they overlap. So feeling good, man. World Series, it's kicking off tonight. Washington up 5-2. So, all is good. All is good.
All right. No doubt. Yeah, it is a good time for, it's like the golden week of sports. So, yeah, absolutely. Gerald Hedrick, what's good with you, money?
Yo. Hey, man. It's good to be back. Yo, the real is back. Yo, it's 2 for Tuesdays, man. I actually participated in 2 for Tuesday today. I actually, after work, man, I had a little rough day, so I decided to get me some wings. And, I ordered 6 and got 12 of them. You know how it is. But, I'm back with my family, man. Like, I'm doing well. Got a fresh cut. Mom's is doing good. I missed everybody, man. How are y'all?
Good, man. Feel like
good to have you back, man.
Yeah, feel like somebody should have had a birthday while you was gone or something. It's been a while. So yeah, man, it's good to have. It's good to have 2 for Tuesdays back again.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. Speaking of, we did have 2 for Tuesdays while you was gone. They was just impressions of 2 for Tuesdays. West Coast J, what's good with you, man?
Yo. No, I was playing. You already know. I'm good, man. Chilling. Echoing Al's sentiments yet again. This is the best week. It's the most wonderful time. I literally had this conversation earlier today. We get World Series, we get hockey, we get baseball. There's an arbitrary golf tournament every week anyway. I'm sure somebody's playing tennis somewhere, cricket, rugby, soccer, like you name it, it is going on this week. Best week in sports.
Absolutely, no doubt. We can't talk about sports if we don't talk to the coach. What's good, Yosh?
In honor of money. Hey, we good? Everybody good?
Good, brother.
What's up, fuckers?
Hey, I'm good, man. I had a truly fucked up day. So you're gonna have to put explicit on this one, Jay.
Yeah,
It was.
I already knew. I got to witness a part of that fucked up day, but yeah, man.
Yeah, man. Actually, it was a fucked up 24, well, about 36 hours. Had a kid get hit in the head with a weight, and weightlifted. Had to get 4 staples.
Damn.
Worst part about that, I wasn't in the weight room when it happened. So you already know I got some shit I got to deal with at the school.
All right.
Two of my basketball players that are supposed to be playing for me this year that are playing football right now got locked up this morning for doing some dumb shit. And then to put the icing on the damn cake. Oh, another one of my kids just got suspended for cursing out his teacher and the football coach. And now he got a hearing on whether they're going to put him in alternative school for the rest of the school year.
Dang.
Then, to put the icing on the cake, I get pulled over by the police going to the Chinese store to get Chinese food for my son.
Wow.
Jeez.
It's been a fucked up 36.
Yeah.
But
That sounds fucked up.
I am on here guzzling a 40 ounce.
No doubt.
Yeah.
You took it back to the classics with the
All
phone.
right. And
Boy, listen.
we're just going to bring an abrupt end to the fucked upness.
Yeah,
Welcome
we
to
gonna
the Defy
yeah,
Life podcast.
Yeah, I figured that's it. That's
Right.
my last. That's my last. Fuck this.
It can't get no worse.
No, that's the thing. There ain't but nowhere to go but up from here.
All right.
So
Oh, yeah.
it is what it is, man. I appreciate y'all having me on the show once again.
Absolutely.
Season's about to get cranked up, but yeah, it's been a crazy 36. So,
No doubt.
like I said, this 40. Like I couldn't even do no. And then on top of it all, no Henny in the house.
Oh, God. No.
Oh,
The hell is
Jesus
going on up in here?
Christ. I don't even know. Man, listen, you talk about me. I was slamming cabinet doors, trying to find all my hiding. I was like, shit, none. I went to that store, so that back when I was 16, all I could
Right.
afford 40 ounce of OE.
Yo.
Shit. Let me get on that OE real quick.
Hey, when it's got to do, it'll do.
When it's gotta do, it'll do.
No doubt. Well, good, man. It's good to hear all your voices. It's good to be in the house of the Lord one more time. Man. So yeah, we're gonna start this off, man. We do, as you heard in the intro, by our lovely new voice of the intro of every show. We do have a big announcement to make. So y'all stick around. We will get to that, but we have a huge announcement to make that's gonna send some ripples, not only through our show but across the network. It's gonna be it's good stuff. So y'all stick around for that. One thing we did want to touch on before we get too deep. Last week we started mentioning we got into a conversation on social media and just people's attachment to it and people's like what people get out of it, all things social media and how we have kind of adjusted our lives. And when I say we, I mean us in particular and us in general, how everyone's lives are kind of adjusted around social media. And Al, you did suggest that we follow up this week and have a deeper conversation on it. What are your general thoughts on social media? Like, if you had to pick positive or negative, the effect of social media as a whole, what would you give it?
Wow. I think overall, I really think it does as much good as it does bad, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's like any other tool in our society. It's just about how it gets utilized. I think when I look at how it has connected folks with people from, decades or just your past and allow some of us to reconnect and establish relationships, that's amazing to me. And I think that's something that in terms of the value, just is priceless. I just, for that sake, and allow you to stay connected with friends and family and even establish new connections, right? So I think from a business perspective, it's amazing, but I also think it does kind of tap into the worst of us in many occasions as well. And, you know, that's America. That's what comes with freedom, is that this freedom, this tool is going to be used for good and for bad. But I think one of the things that, as we talk about it, that just kind of startled me recently is when I was in a conference, and it's the lady she's on the show The Doctors. She's a black doctor, black female doctor. I think Dr. Rachel. And she mentioned different things we need to stay away from in terms of to deal with and stay away from depression. Social media was one of the 5 things she listed. And to me, I never really thought about it in relation to our mental health, but I think she had a real compelling argument about how it could, you know, if you were inclined to be depressed or dealing with stuff that, and that's how you were handling stress, that this could be something to, if you were handling it negatively, that social media could feed into that. And, you know, I just never looked at it that way. But me personally, I kind of have pulled away from it recently, but not due to mental health, but I think because of more productivity sake. Because I think that's the byproduct, at least how it affects me a lot, is that I overdo it and get, 30 minutes, 45 minutes go by, and I've been social media, and it was just like, oh, damn. I didn't mean to get caught up like that. And I have found since I have pulled back in my engagement with it, to be more productive on other platforms, other ways. But all in all, I'm glad we're here in this time and place where social media is around and I can engage in it. But I definitely think in many ways, especially with some of the youth, it's kind of warping their perception of what's real.
All right. Money, negative or positive? What would you lean towards regarding social media?
I was just about to say, I would love to touch on that. I'm gonna jump right in on what Al was saying. So the genius behind social media, so is what it does to you chemically. It's what it does to you psychologically. The facts are that it's like a drug. The hormones and the endorphins and the rush that you get from a like or from a comment or it actually really does induce those same reactions in your brain like a drug. It's crazy, the studies that they have out there now as they kind of are digging into this. You got to be real careful about, and I know, you guys, what you hear from what you'll do for likes. You got to be, especially for younger kids, but you got to be real careful about how powerful social media is. It's definitely can be a drug, and you can be depressed when the whole idea behind it is all about connecting with people and connecting friends but if you keep it as a base, for instance, I use mine for Defy Life a lot, and keeping connected with family. But if you do, it's a great tool for business. It's a great tool for growing a footprint. But if you're looking for likes, if you're looking for, the acceptance of other people, it can get real dangerous if you're not getting those things. But it's definitely first thing you do when you wake up in the morning now is check your social media. The last thing you do before you go to bed now is check your social media. It's just and now we're programmed to need it. So you just got to be real careful, especially for younger kids. It's the reason why Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, this, that, and the third can be companies worth billions and billions of dollars because they know that it's something that people need, like a drug. And the last point I'll touch on that is fuck social media from a standpoint of the smarter that we get, the dumber we get. These smartphones keep us intertwined. They keep us connected. They keep us connected to social media. You can literally do everything on your smartphone that you used to have a 6-bedroom house and 7 different objects to do. You can do it all on your phone now, and all of that is intertwined with social media. But the social media companies are selling all of our data to the highest bidders. So fuck social media. So just be careful that stuff is out there. It's happening. If you are a member of social media, people do have your data. And they do sell it to the highest bidder for whatever reason. So just FYI, listeners.
No doubt. West Coast, how often do you, in a week, in a 7-day span, how many times you wake up in the middle of the night and check your social media?
0.
That's what I figured coming from you. So I was waiting on your answer to this. So negative or positive overall social media?
Is the answer to your question. Yes.
Absolutely.
The positives of it were, it started much like I think the old saying is, the road to hell is paved with good intentions.
Absolutely.
So it started with the best of intentions. Let's connect everybody. Let's get people who wouldn't normally be able to see each other, wouldn't normally be able to talk to each other. Let's get them all connected. Let's find friends. Let's make friends. Let's show our friends what we're doing. Let's show other people what we're doing. Maybe they'll like it. Maybe they do it. Maybe they can help us do it. But what it's turned into is a virtual town square where the soapbox, everybody's got their own soapbox. Now, most people are using it so that they can check and find out, maybe what's going on that they wouldn't have seen, something that's happening in the community, something that's happening amongst their friends. But the people that are not, the people that are just using it to be mean-spirited, evil, angry, outraged people. Social media has fueled the outrage culture more than anything else I've ever seen. There would be no #MeToo movement without social media. So, yes, it did its job in exposing it. That shit ran a little too far. People were starting to get Me Too'd for saying good morning.
All right.
So, and then touching on what Money was talking about, the dopamine burst that happens, I heard somebody say once that you can either do lines or likes.
All right.
It's every time somebody gets a like, you're getting the same chemicals in your body that your body is creating that you do when you do a line. You do when you do any of the recreational drugs.
Right.
You're getting those same dopamine releases. You're getting those same chemicals released in your head. And so people have become so addicted to likes that they're not paying attention to, they're only doing it for the like. They're only doing things to say they did it. We were joking about the people that'll feed somebody, that'll give money to a homeless guy, but make sure that they filming it the whole time so they can put that on Insta. #philanthropy. You know what I'm saying? Jamie Foxx was talking about how he took his daughters to plantation and was trying to teach him the history. He said she was over there trying to take selfies talking about plantation life. What?
Oh shit.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? It's the negatives and the positives are the pendulum, in my opinion, is swinging towards the negatives now. As I said, it started out with so many good intentions. I feel like it even started out even innocent. Just let people who don't think they have a voice get a voice. Let people who wouldn't normally be seen get an opportunity to be seen.
Yeah.
And now it's turned into everybody just wants to make noise and be the center of attention. So I don't support that shit.
Yeah, the blessing and the curse. You know, the beauty of it. The beauty of it is everybody has a voice, and the downfall of it is everybody has a voice. So yeah. So Yosh, you got. I know you got a different perspective, you know, or a closer perspective because you work directly with youth every single day. Like, would you give it an overall negative or positive for social media?
I give it. It's tough, but I give it an overall negative. And it's mainly for youth and for adults. And it's twofold. And the reason why I feel like it's that is because youth in my classroom, if I don't collect their phones at the beginning of class and put it in this little basket, they're going to be on Snapchat. The kids use Snapchat. They're not on Facebook like that.
All right.
They're not on Instagram like that. They're not on Twitter. Snapchat is it for kids. Because it disappears quickly. They can do whatever they want to. If your kid, I suggest not allowing your kid to get in that Snapchat.
Right.
And it's from somebody who works in the school system. Don't let your kid get a Snapchat. My daughter got one. I had to shut it down instantly because I know kids do want one.
Right.
With the fact they believe that because these videos disappear,
right,
that they could just do whatever, and they be doing whatever. They be doing the most. So they have to be checking the Snapchat because it's the easiest way. They don't have to comment. There's nothing they have to like. So they could be nosy without people really knowing that they're being nosy.
Mm-hmm.
Only way somebody can figure out who saw it is they got to click on this and click on that, and it'll show who looked at it. But at the end of the day, I could flip through your whole and find out everything you did that day. I can even find out where you at now if you snapping every 10 seconds. Okay? Yeah. So that's that for kids. Like they are glued to that thing. There is a lesson plan that I build into every year. I tell my kids, whoever wants to take part in this, they can. They have to shut down their social media for 7 days. No interaction with social media. And we go by the honor system. I tell them hey, look, you ain't winning nothing, you ain't losing nothing. It's extra credit. You get an A. If you make it to 7 days, you get an A. If you don't make it to 7 days, then it's, you just miss out on that opportunity. And what I have found through doing that is the kids who take part in that complete more work on a daily basis than those that don't. And what ends up happening is usually for those kids, it's an aha moment. They go, yo, I do spend too much time on my phone. I do spend too much time on social media. So the invention of social media has actually dumbed down our society and made it dependent upon made us dependent upon our phones. Because doesn't it sometimes, like I sometimes look at the kids and go, yo, like, I don't know if you could have lived when I came up but then I think about it and I go, well, yeah, they would because they wouldn't have a choice because it wasn't available. Social media wasn't there for us, so we had to go outside and play. We had to do this. We had to do that. And I know I'm kind of going off base there, but yeah, social media is definitely a negative for kids.
Yeah.
For adults, I think it's even a bigger negative, and I'm going to tell you why. It causes us to compare without knowing that that's what it's causing us to do.
Mm-hmm.
We're comparing our lives to other people's lives, and
that are fake.
And we don't even know if it's real or if it's fake.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like, I'm gonna tell you what I found out last week, and this is completely on left because Wilson Homecoming was last week, and I found out that people rent cars to go to homecoming.
You just found that out.
Shit. I was like, they
hashtag stunting on them.
Right.
I was like,
Stunting on them hoes.
So that it makes you like. I was like, yo, and I was listening to Eric Thomas one day, and he said the first thing that about 70% of people do when they wake up is check their phone. They want to see, they just check their phone. And so his question was, what the hell you think happened while you were asleep?
Right.
What does it matter what happened while you were asleep? Get up and do what you got to do. And then if, in fact, within your day you happen to check your phone, then do that. Those people that use social media for business, it's great. That's the only reason I really use social media is for business. I don't care if somebody has likes. I don't care if anybody shares. The only pages that I care that does that is on my business pages. My personal page, I don't care.
Right.
And I don't even post that much. And then it has become a place for people. The next thing, it has become a place for people to, I can't whoop your ass, but I'm a Facebook thug. So I'm going to come at you hard on Facebook. I mean, like, it's just, it has, I think it's opened the door to what started off as something positive. Like, I was a guest on the DJ Blaze radio show, and we talked about, like, how social media moved. Like, we was like, yo, like, did anybody remember College Club? Like, College Club was so much fun.
Yeah, it was. Black Planet. Yeah.
Black Planet. You know what I'm saying? MySpace was the shit. Like, you had to get backgrounds and you could put your music on there. But like, when you think about it, it was all fun.
And you know what else MySpace was dope for that people don't even realize? MySpace, we was coding on MySpace. We was low key coding. You had the little, and they didn't even realize. Yeah, we didn't even realize that. 15, 20 years from now, that'd be the most valuable asset you can have.
And most people forgot that shit.
And most people forgot it. You had to actually code to be like active on MySpace.
And then Facebook, you had to be in college and have a college email to be on Facebook and start. And then what happened was Twitter came out, and Twitter was supposed to be just for shortened, abbreviated versions of whatever it is you're doing at that moment. That's all it was supposed to be.
Right.
And then now people can't live. So many things were so many things were broken on Twitter. So many news stories, everything was broken on Twitter. And so social media, since that's what's happened, social media has become the hub of where everybody goes to get all of the information that they could possibly take in. Like, on Facebook, this is notorious for this. How many stories get shared that are from like 2014?
Right.
Today, like the shit happened yesterday. I mean, what the fuck is it? Like, I'm not sharing this. This is from 2 years. This is from 2-3 years ago.
Right.
This happened yesterday. And people, this is still going on. Fuck it. No, dumbass.
Or it's not even a credible news source. It's we
fake.
make fake news.com. Like, I'm like, yo, this what you sharing?
And they tell you on the website, this is a satire site. And you see a bunch of idiots on there arguing. Like, it is crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's just, I think that the positives are for people that are. My grandma used to have a saying: "The simple mind is so easily amused."
Mm-hmm.
And the people that are amused by social media are simple-minded. I'm sorry to say it. You're so fucking simple.
Yeah. And what really pisses me off though, like, and it ain't just social media, I guess, but I guess the smartphone in general. How many times y'all ever see on like Rap City's The Basement, the freestyle session that everybody used to listen to? How many times you ever see like Biggie pull a piece of paper out of his pocket and have to remember his freestyle?
No. Man,
how many times? Right. Every time you see, this is why it pisses me off, because they done fucked up hip hop where these niggas can't even remember their lyrics no more.
Wait, no, Jay. If it's supposed to be a freestyle, why is it on your phone?
Right. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, you can't even remember your
listen to their phone and write it later and write it earlier. That's not how it worked.
Right.
Nah, West.
Like, I remember the first time.
I thought that was how it worked.
Like, at this point, as legendary as Drake is at this point, Like I remember the first time he was on like Sway in the morning, and then he had to do a free. He kept fucking up, pulling out his phone. I was like, man, get this. That's one reason why I'm still bitter towards that dude now, because that's your first impression. That's your first impression. Is you gonna pull out your phone?
Jay, like, it's so much, and it's so stupid, and there's so many people who live their life for this shit. Is social media? If social media was to crash today, they would probably die.
Oh yeah.
You know, like people live for followers,
and their lives their lives as they know it would end. Like,
and I have a theory about that too. Those people are extremely insecure people. Those people that chase likes and followers, extremely insecure people.
Yeah.
Because like you're doing shit just for. So you're gonna shake your ass on this in next to nothing. You're gonna bounce your ass, this, that, and the third, and then get mad because a nigga get in your inbox.
Right. Yeah. And take screenshots and all kinds of shit. And that's something I said. Like, I know this chick that like, thankful for her. Good for her. She's married now with kids. She's kind of calmed down, but she was like the typical like, I want to be an Instagram model. Like everything was a selfie. You know what I'm saying? You want to like it was so obvious, right? And like just chicks like that. Like I used to be like, yo, like taking a bunch of pictures on Instagram makes you a model no more than sitting in a garage makes you a car. What the fuck do you get out of like taking pictures and getting like go to work, do something? Like I don't get it. And you done took 40 pictures to get this one selfie. Like, I don't get it, man. It's crazy.
Like I said, I think that social media is like Money said, Al said, it's a drug.
Yeah.
West Coast said it's a drug.
Yeah. And I ain't gonna, and everybody said, it does serve its purpose. It has its positives. I think we've all found somebody like, yo, I ain't seen this dude in a long time. Like, we've reconnected with somebody. So, and to be honest, like us, we probably wouldn't have stayed in touch as much if it weren't for social media. And probably if it weren't for social media and us being able to stay in touch, Defy Life may not exist as it is. So there are positives.
Yeah.
Defy
Life definitely wouldn't exist as
I'm gonna leave out. I'm gonna leave y'all with this one question that I found on Healthline.com.
Mm-hmm.
Healthline.com asked this question, and I want everybody to just internalize it. No answers. No answer needed. How could systems designed to bring us closer to our friends and family be bad for our mental health?
All right.
Dope.
There's nothing else to say after that.
All right. Yeah.
Because moderation is the key to life.
Yep.
Wow.
So anytime and that's anything, too much of anything ain't gonna be good for you. So
and we don't
water
know how to
is water is for our good sake, but you drink too much of that shit, you will die.
It'll kill you. Yeah.
Nice and Smooth told us that too much of anything makes you an addict.
We don't know how to do we don't know how to do anything in moderation. What we do, we fucking overdo.
That is an American way.
That's the American way. Give me a big ass burger in my big ass truck while I talk on my big ass phone and go sit at my big ass desk and go home to my big ass wife so I can get on this big ass computer and lie about my big ass life. That's what I do.
Yep. That's a fact.
Damn, that was a verse. Bars.
Yeah, that was bars. That was bars.
Pretty accurate too.
But yeah, man. We but as they say, the people you surround yourself with tells you a lot about yourself. So it would concern me if everyone on this show would was like, nah, I love social media. I live for likes. That would concern me. So, kudos to the gentleman.
Nah,
You're right.
Because we're the generation before it. Like, so it got big with us.
Well, no,
but we also lived our first 18, 19, 22 years without.
Right. But
so we know how to we're not dependent on it to live.
Well,
these
we aren't
20-year
the five of us, but I'm sure we all know people that are the same age as us, went to school with us, who live for likes.
Some even older than us.
Or some even older than us. I know a few. But I do say you're right, Money. Like our generation was born at the perfect time because we do we have the knowledge and the experience of living without smartphones and social media. So we know, like, if there was a fucking zombie apocalypse, we know how to survive. But we know how to use all this shit, so we ain't got to call our kids in to to learn how to text our best friend. So
right.
So there's this happy medium that kind of overlapped our lifespans that we have the best of both worlds. If God forbid, if all the cell towers went out, I know how to use a landline. So we have the experience of both. I have a cousin who maybe 10 years ago had to have me show him, and he's 10 days younger than me. And I was so pissed at him because I was like, how the fuck are you born at this time? He had to have me show him how to set up an email address. And I was like, dude, I
was wondering how he got it.
Right.
You can't survive today without it.
Right.
Now, in these kids' defense, I will say this. And Jay, you a technology head like me, so I know you're going to feel me a little bit on this. I will say this. From a technology standpoint, like our parents and our grandparents didn't, like, the world wasn't moving at the speed that it moves today when our parents were growing up. Like, they saw a few things happen, but it wasn't like it is now. Like, these kids are getting to see technology advance and advance and advance at a pace that's crazy. Now, in their defense, some of they're so dependent on it because they grew up with it like that. But like, I think someone died, and I think someone made the comment like, "Damn, it's crazy." Like, when this dude was born, like, it wasn't like the TV was just coming along, and then when this dude died, you can fucking watch TV on your phone, like in your hand. Like, so it's just from like the 60s to like the mid 90s, technology didn't really do too much,
but it was more industry than technology.
Right.
Yeah.
Correct. And now in the last like 20 years, man, technology is just crazy. So I completely understand. In their defense, so we can do it both, but like, our parents and shit, man, they so lost. They don't know. Like,
right. That's like, and it's it's not really an accomplishment. We just happen to be born at the right time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's nothing that we accomplished in this. It's just that, hey, you born anywhere from 1970 to 1980, you probably have the best of both worlds. Like anybody, my sister was here last week. Shout out to Keisha. And we were talking about Al. When she was down there last time, when she went out to dinner with you guys, and just having a conversation with your son, just about how kids operate and the younger generation operates, and just talking about stuff like breaking up via text and not taking your significant other home to meet the parents, stuff that they just don't do because they've never had to do. They've gotten so accustomed to. Like I said, breaking up via text, like they don't even have long conversations when they together. Why are we gonna have a long conversation when we're breaking up? So just stuff that they just don't have and never had to do. It's just not in their, not in their mode of operation. Which is why, like I say, we were born at the perfect time, because if I need to be present in person, I don't have to learn that. It's innate in me. And if I need to stop the zeros from if I need to stop the 12 o'clock from flashing on a VCR, I don't have to call nobody in to do it. I can do it myself. So, we kind of have the best of both worlds. But again, it's nothing we accomplished. We just got lucky and we're born at the right time.
I also think it's it happens in every generation at this stage of your life. Like I think what we're experiencing is that we've been around long enough to where you've seen cycles and cycles of the technological evolution. Right. But I would imagine that like when my father was 40, 39, if he looked back at what he was experiencing compared to like his elders, like shit like flying or driving would probably fall in the category of where we see computers. Like I just think whatever that technology innovation was for the last 2 generations would make it seem like, wow, we the generation that like get on planes. We the generation that drive on highways. You know, that's probably what they was looking at compared to their fathers.
Yeah, like can you imagine like being like, man, these dudes don't even have cars. Like that'd be that's kind of great. Like like they had to walk
or
to the next
we
county
went to school with white
groceries
folks and pick cotton.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like they saw 2 sides of it as well.
Yeah. I don't know. Very interesting.
Al, they've been flying since before World War One.
Not my people.
Oh, true that. True
right. Yeah. Since you put it that way. Right.
I can remember I'm old enough to remember my mother getting on a plane for the first time.
Wow.
I was a young boy, but it was a big fucking deal.
Yeah. Like and people back in the day, like people got on planes, they dressed up in like their best suits and shit. Like
true that.
It was an event. Like,
and a special occasion, like she was going for her grandmother's funeral. We weren't going. She had to get down there. It was like, I can't remember exactly why, but I just remember it was just like all right, now you be okay. And like we crying at the airport. It was like
right,
like she's about to get on space shuttles.
Right. Wow. Yeah, man. Yeah, but definitely glad we followed up on that, man. It's it's definitely interesting. We actually gave our first listener question to us because it was something else, Al, you mentioned last week that I want to follow up on. And it was during our conversation about Bryce Harper and the Nationals going to the World Series without him after he just signed this $400 million contract. And you kind of posed the question, and we were like, let's talk about that. Al, would you rather be in Bryce Harper's shoes, the guy who signed a $400 million guaranteed contract, or would you rather have stuck around for less money and go to the World Series?
See, I'm glad you put it like that, where I'm still getting broke off tremendously as opposed to, mega contract.
He wasn't making $10 an hour if he stayed.
Right. Yeah. So, I'd take the little less money and go to the World Series. Okay. That's what I want.
All right. Yosh, what about you? $400 million, and just for the sake of, for argument's sake, let's say $400 million and out of the playoffs, or $250 million and go to the World Series?
Oh, shit. I read that question totally wrong then. Because I'll take the $250 million and go to the playoffs. Okay. If I got $150 million, trust me, I might not have him. I won't miss that $150 million.
Okay.
But I'll miss that championship.
Based on your response, money.
Hold on now. If you got $250, if you're gonna tell me either take the money or the championship, that's different. Take the money all day. But if you're telling me $250 million and a championship, or $400 million and nothing,
hey,
I take $250.
Hey, my guy, look here.
What? Okay, what more are you gonna do with another $150 million?
What?
I'm asking a question.
Whatever I want.
You can do whatever you want with $250 million.
Not as much as whatever I want.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want with $250 million.
Like
whatever you want.
$400 million. Okay, so let's just say this.
You can take that $250 million and flip it.
Hold on. Let me.
Go ahead. Because
let me get at you.
There's no logic to it.
Let me get maybe, but let me get at you. All right.
Well, money. Before you answer, Because I'm on your side, Money. I'm with you. West Coast, where do you stand on this?
Hilarious.
Just what I take.
Y'all are ridiculous. The way the question was written
What's the question now?
versus the way the question is being phrased now is actually a different question. The original question was...
We ain't talking about the paper. We talking about the game. So this game...
We ain't talking about... We just talk about practice. I'm saying here, supposed to be a franchise player. We ain't talking about practice.
Right.
We ain't talking about practice.
Yeah, because I mean, you're a professional athlete. You're
asked,
not making like tips and shit. So we know we getting paid either way. So like, we'll pose it that way.
You just asked, then I'm taking the less money in the championship.
Okay, go ahead.
Jay, can I please get at this?
Yeah. Please.
Question one: have they won yet?
Nope.
Okay, so that's question one. So one is there's no guarantee they're gonna win. Two. He did also go to a very good team, so it's not like there's no guarantee that he won't get to a World Series. Now that's just the 2 points of like to rebut a little bit of what you guys are saying. Now let's talk about the difference between $400 million and $200 million. It's a lot of fucking difference. Right. That's a whole lot. That is my family generationally wealthy change type of money. That's like Walton money. That's
so
like
it's $250 though.
No, 250. No, guys. 250 is stupid. 250 is stupid. It's stupid money.
Yeah.
But you gotta realize you're gonna pay taxes on that. You're gonna pay capital gains taxes on that. So
you're gonna pay taxes on $400 million regardless.
Over the lifetime of that contract,
man,
he really only gonna see about 160 of that, which is still a lot of money.
And you're gonna make more in
you're gonna make more in
like outside the game.
We ain't talking about that. We ain't talking about that. That's not the question Jay asked. That's not the Jay ain't asked about endorsements. He ain't asked about shoe deals. He ain't asked about like.
My point is the money you trying to hold on to. I'm taking for granted. I'm gonna make because I'm a winner.
But look. I'm gonna do a lot more. Well, so it's in that same scenario. In that same scenario, you gonna keep about 280. So you're gonna keep about over the lifetime of that 400 mil, you're gonna keep about 280, 290, maybe 310.
You keep 400
versus the 160 you gonna get out of that 250. Right. So that's damn near double. I can set my entire generation up to make sure that we have some sort of business or legacy or whatever that nobody in 92 generations of my family ever has to have.
Listen, if you can't from a coach's perspective.
Oh wow.
All right. You work your ass off to the bone to get there. Like you bust your shit to get there every single day. And if somebody's going to tell me either I could get 250 and an opportunity to coach in this game or 400.
We ain't talking about coaches though, Yosh. We ain't talking about coaches.
No. You just, the question is, as a coach, if I had an opportunity to do this.
I didn't say a coach. I said as a player. We're talking about Bryce Harper as a player and I ask it that way. Okay. I ask it that way because.
Well, even as a player.
Hold on. I'm saying I'm asking it this way because I just want to make sure we're on the same page. I'm asking it this way because not all players feel that way. Not all players feel like coaches feel.
But you're asking from my opinion of how it is.
From Bryce Harper's perspective, he's a player, from his coach.
Right. Okay, now. Okay, from a player, not a coach, and this is from me having just conversations. Now these are kids, but just from let's say two of the top kids I've coached, Chris and Trey. To this day, Chris is 22, hadn't played high school basketball. Chris is 23, hadn't played high school basketball since 17. Still is upset about that game that we lost in the playoffs because if we'd have won that game, we'd have went to a championship. Still upset. To this day.
Mm-hmm.
Trey is at a full ride, dropped 62 in his final game, and is pissed because he didn't drop 64 and win.
Mm-hmm.
The thing about it is, the people that I respect the most are the ones that can find a balance in between the two. So if you're getting money, you're talking about money. You just made the point, like, this is a generational, this, that, and the third. Shit, nigga, if you fuck up $250 million, you don't deserve the money in the first place. If you can't set your family up on $176 million, then you don't deserve the bread, period. If you fuck up 100 mil, you gonna fuck up 400.
But I don't think it's a matter of fucking it up though. Like, I don't think anybody's saying no.
You're asking for a personal preference on what.
Right, and I heard yours. I'm trying to give you mine. So what I'm saying, I don't think it's a matter of fucking it up for me. I think it's a matter of, and Ndamukong Suh says something very profound to me, and I get, because we've all played in high school and had games where we like, oh shit, I hate that. That's fucking high school. When I'm listening to, I remember every fucking play, every stat that I had my last football game in high school, and I wish I had done more. Fuck it, that's high school. And Ndamukong Suh, when he left the Detroit Lions and signed the Miami Dolphins, and then he left the Dolphins and went to the Rams for a 1-year deal for the most money. You know what he said? Man, in 40 years, fucking honors and trophies ain't gonna do shit for my family. That's how I feel. When Earl Campbell is 50 and he can't walk, don't nobody give a shit if he went to the Super Bowl. When Evander Holyfield can barely talk and can't give an interview because he got hit in the head so many times for our entertainment, don't nobody give a shit how many belts he won.
You don't even remember.
You don't even remember. But I guarantee you this, when his kids and they kids and they kids and they kids are set up for life, and you got generational wealth double what you would have with your World Series appearance, I'll take that all day.
All
hey,
day.
Jay, what you're saying is, if you're telling me, hey, it's either 10 million or this 400 million, yeah, my decision is different. What you're telling me is 250 million and this opportunity that can propel me, as someone said, that can propel me further and give me the ability to capitalize and make more money on top of that.
How? But how?
What? How? Yeah, how so?
Because we got to understand.
There's value in going to the World Series.
There's not actually. How has that been proven? Has that been proven? How? How has that been proven? No, I'm asking you a question.
Though Jay's the master of that.
Man.
Go ahead, Jay.
Don't do that shit, Yosh, because man,
ahead, Jay.
You got a show that I ain't never been on. So I'm asking you to let me give my opinion. So I'm asking you a question, Al. Like, because you're saying something that's not fact. That's why I'm saying this.
So ask me the question so I can answer it.
Right. So that's why I'm asking you.
My fault. You the moderator. My bad. I'm having a conversation. But go ahead.
I'm asking you because something you just said is not factual. How does value going to the World Series create more money for a baseball player?
Okay. So for me, right, when I say value is beyond financial. Financial is one aspect of value. For me, how I approach life, it's not just about money. So I would value, this is my opinion, I would value the experience of being in the game, the final game, the opportunity to go down as the best player, best team this year. This is part of why I play. So if you tell me I have an opportunity to do that and make 250 mil, and understanding what that value, financial, sentimental, spiritual, all of that, that's what that's going to give me as a player and a person, I'm taking that. And while I understand how you, Money, and Ndamukong Suh, I get how y'all, I appreciate what you're saying. That's not how I rock.
Okay, so that's what I was asking. What kind of value? That's why I'm asking what kind of value you meant by that.
Yeah.
Before Yost got sensitive and said that's how I do. I'm trying to gain clarity on what you meant by value. So what I'm saying is, again, that value don't feed your family.
$250 million does.
450 feet is a whole lot more.
You're right. But 250 plus that, I'll take that.
So when I'm just trying to so when you're an old man, and you can't remember shit about your life, what value does that bring?
It brings the value in the days that I experienced it, because I might not even live to be an old man. So I'm gonna take what I can when I can. And if you tell me you giving me
exactly,
to play
I'm
in the
taking
World
what
Series,
I can when I can. That's exactly what I'm saying. I'm taking that 400 mil when I can.
I get you. I get it. I mean, I ain't saying it don't make no sense to me. I hear y'all, but
because
I'm choosing the other one. I'm not.
I can't rock with y'all.
Who lost the World Series 3 years ago?
I think the Cubs beat. I think the Cubs beat. Oh, I don't even know who the Cubs beat.
Right, who lost the World Series 3 years ago? We don't even know that shit. Who lost the World Series last year? Right,
the Dodgers, I believe.
Right, we gotta think about that shit. Right, like we can't even
that arbitrary value that, like, I get what Al's saying, but I'm not buying it, Jay. Like, I'm not like
what
that,
kind of like
you can't
value is that?
Yeah, you can't open an annuity or a new stock with your feelings. Like,
well, I'm saying, but hold on now. Like, if you're saying that you have this amount of money, and if the actual question is, what is it that you value? What is it that you feel is going to bring you the greatest amount of joy in your life? For a Dominican Sue, it may be money, and like as Al said, you know, for him and for myself, it's not always about that. And if you're talking about, I got 250 mil and this opportunity to do something that I have worked my life towards, then I'll take that. I will take
Okay. Let me ask you this. I'm gonna cartel you a question. I'm gonna cartel it to exactly the statement you just made. Can I do that? So
yeah,
you
do it anyway. So go ahead.
Okay. All right. So boom, you coaching. Boom. All right. So, you coaching right now. Your school is saying, I don't know how much you make or whatever the case may be, but if they was like, okay, we're gonna pay you $50,000 to coach the season. We're gonna pay you $50,000 to coach the season, and in this $50,000, you know that you are gonna get a shot at it. Like, you have guaranteed appearance at the state championship. You know it. Like, for whatever reason, it's bound to happen. You're gonna get there. Not that you're gonna win, just you're gonna get there. And then school B, the Independence in Charlotte, they call you on the phone tomorrow, right after this offer, and say, hey, Coach English, shit, we gonna give you, if you come up here and coach with us, you coach our team. We got a good team. But we gonna give you 180 to come up here and coach our team next season.
But the team sucks.
What you want to do, Yosh?
I'm gonna answer your question just like this. Before last year was my best opportunity since I've been coaching to win a state. Last year was my best shot since I was coaching.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew that going into the year. Prior to that year, now mind you, when I left Denmark, when I left the school I was at prior to being here, I don't want to shout them out. This school, I didn't want to, but it kind of slipped out. This school is paying me about somewhere around 8 times more than what they paid me there, as far as my athletic supplement is concerned, which was probably my major reason for leaving, because I even went to them and I said, hey, look, I know you can't do that, but can you do these little things? Can you do that? Can you do this? People started saying all kinds of stuff to me, and as far as the board members, somebody in the district office said, you just used our kids to make a better way for your family, this, that, and the third. And I said, yep, I didn't say I used them, but, I put the work in. These people want to pay me. You don't. I'll take that. last year, the head coaching job there was open, and the athletic director as well. I knew both supplements together were not going to equal my pay. I still called down there because I was happier there than I am here. And I offered them for me to come back. I asked them, I said, listen, I'll fill out my application. I'll send it in. Yo, I'm available if y'all will have me back. And they said no. I was willing to take the pay cut because to me, the money that I have received is not worth the headache that I'm going through.
But my offer was going to be worth the headache.
It's to me. If you're asking me personally, the money
personally.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That money ain't worth the headache.
But I think that's two different conversations, though, because if we're talking about Bryce Harper, when he's saying he's dealing with a headache.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like, he's just on a team that just didn't do as well. So
to me, it's just I think your happiness. Yeah, he's just not on the team that's doing as well. And I understand that. I understand the concept. But when Money asked me a direct question, I was answering that directly.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm talking to the question which led to the response. Like, I think that's two different conversations.
I feel like that's not. I don't think that money determines. To me, money doesn't determine my happiness.
So in my offer, not what your personal story about the current situation about I'm talking about in my offer, you willing to walk away from 130. Now keep in mind, my team's good. I just can't. You just don't have the guarantee that you're gonna play for state.
Yeah, I think I gotta go if I'm. It's so many things that go into making that decision, Money. That like for you to say, hey, look, this is that. This I just to put me in that position. Like I have to look at the whole. And yes, the money is enticing. Don't make. I don't want to make it seem like I'm turning down $400 million to turn it down. What I'm saying is, if you're gonna tell me I'm guaranteed to do something I've always wanted to do, I've always wanted to be the head coach on the sidelines of a state championship, and I'm guaranteed to do that for the 50. I guarantee you, if I get there, and if this school is willing to pay me whatever it is, they'll pay me more. They'll put more money on the table if they really want me. I've seen it happen for people that go to state. When they want the money, when they want you, they pay you. They will offer you up the wazoo. Josh has been offered a plethora of jobs that he has turned down repeatedly. And I'm talking about 6 figures because it just ain't been the right fit.
So in Bryce's scenario, that's what they wanted him and they paid him. They made sure that they gave him an offer that they made sure was bananas and no one else was gonna be like, we don't match that.
Including the Nationals. The Nationals, like, they had every opportunity to pay him. They chose not to. And that's one thing. Like I ain't trying to make it seem like I'm shitting on winning and having playing for a World Series. Like, it's a great opportunity. But like, it's just my whole thought around it. And 90% of players that I've, like, professional athletes that I've spoken to, that I've interviewed, when I ask them that question of what's the one thing you miss the most, it's never the championship. It's never the money. It's being around the guys and having that camaraderie. So if you get that anyway, whether you're playing for a World Series or not, give me the money all fucking day.
I'm not trying to shit on him going to the Phillies because the question isn't questioning his decision. The question is just your personal value, like knowing that one team is going to the World Series. He didn't know that when he selected like the $400 million. So I have no problem with the contract. It's just with the understanding that I am going to the World Series. Which one would I pick?
Right.
That's a different question to me, and that's the only thing I'm questioning. Other than that, I go for the money.
Yeah, and that's my only thing I'm questioning is I'm trying to gain clarity of where all this value comes from in memories.
I don't think it's about the memories though, Jay. I think it's about your personal like what is it that you really want to accomplish in your life personally?
I agree.
and I think that, like, if you know, like Jay, you know, you're in, you know, at your job, if your job was to make wherever it is that you want to go, if that's what you valued, or if you value taking vacations with your family, or if your value is on, hey, shoot, right now, Jay, I know your value is on making Defy Life the biggest company in the world.
Right.
You know,
and if they offer me a podcast award or $100 million, take that podcast award and stick it up your ass, sir. No.
I'm talking about just the business itself. But think about this now, the business itself and the work that you've put into it. All right. If somebody comes in and they're like, yo, you know, we want to buy your business for however many amounts of dollars, that's something that you got to think about because you're thinking about your family. But if people are like, yo, you can have the success, your business will be successful in turn making you that bread, or we can pay you to take this business off your hands. I'm pretty certain that if you would take the guaranteed success of your business that you've built with your own two hands and take that further on to make the bread.
How much you trying to buy me out for, Yosh?
I'm taking the money and I'm gonna start a new business.
Right. With y'all.
I mean
that shit'll be called that shit'll be called that shit'll be called Defy Lives.
About personality.
Yeah, I'm gonna be real. I would have to, because I've been posed with many questions like that personally. And so for me, it's always like, I'm fucking with you. I get it. Yeah. But you know what I'm saying? I'm always in the thing of, yo, I can't do that. You know, because this is where I feel like, because whatever it is you're gonna get. You know what I'm saying? And I think that a lot of times, like, shit, just because you took the money, like Jay, you said the camaraderie and all that, that's when they're around some niggas they like. Like, imagine you take the $400 million, you in a clubhouse with a bunch of assholes, or people that just don't, or maybe you the asshole, and don't nobody like you.
Man, I wouldn't.
I could buy some motherfuckers I like for $400 million.
And you won't have $400 million. You won't have $400 million long either.
Hey, Jay, why a helicopter that we used to have when Keon was here?
Right, man. And the nerve of Alvin Glenn, who always talks about the American way and capitalism, and now he's talking about some fucking memories. Man, I buy your memories, Al. I can buy you some memories.
Making it memories, though. You're saying memories. It ain't about the memories. It's about whatever your goals are that you set for yourself.
Yeah, he said one to remember.
You're right. You know what? Like, that's what it's like. We see it all the time. Like, that shit don't mean nothing to, like, niggas who experience that shit all the time. Like, Ricky Williams just sold his Heisman Trophy for $400,000. Like, that's the pinnacle of success and on the college level. This nigga just sold a trophy. Like, that shit, like, that's what, like,
well, I don't
that level.
Trophies.
That's what you get when you win a World Series.
No, I don't believe in trophies. To me, it's knowing that you won, like, the championship. It's not about the trophy for me.
The experience.
Like, don't you want a championship? To know that you've worked your behind off and you got this. Man. This thing. It may not be a tangible thing. Because I've won a lot of trophies. Ain't none of them in my house. I give them away to the kids.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But, like,
that's the point. That's the point Jay making.
That's what I'm making. Like, I've won one outright championship in my life, and I'll take $400 over that shit.
If your goal is sustained generational wealth for you, everybody you love, your family, you take the $400. That's a no-brainer.
But money, like, here's the thing to that. Like, you're right. What did you start it with? If that's your goal.
But why wouldn't that be anybody? That should be everybody's goal.
No, everybody's goal should be to be able to take care of their family long term. And if you're telling me if you're telling me that I'm gonna take 176 million after taxes or 160 million after taxes, I'm gonna do what I need to do to make sure that the money's invested well and done everything I could possibly do to set up my family so that generational wealth is what happens. I turn new money into old money. Like, that's just what it is.
And then 4 generations down the line, when them broke motherfuckers sitting around talking about your dumb ass for not taking the $400 million, they can all look at your trophy.
that's on them though. Like if I've done my part to set them up and they fucked it up, that's on them.
Well, then when you and Al old man, y'all can get on Facebook and talk about y'all's trophy that y'all won. And me and Money will be at the bank. I don't know. And West Coast just gonna chill. I don't know. West Coast, where you going?
I was in here listening to both of y'all sides of these arguments, right? So the more I'm sitting here thinking,
we swayed you, didn't we? You want some money, don't you?
Yeah, y'all lightweight sway me.
Yeah, you want the money because it makes sense.
Lightweight sway me. It does. If it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. So unfortunately, I've jumped ship from the ship, guys.
That's fine. So. Still think you can live
now, if the Nationals don't win, we're gonna be even more right.
Right.
If they end up losing.
Okay.
Yeah, because they're gonna become a trivia question somewhere down the line.
Right. That y'all gonna say is too hard. Like that's some shit Scott gonna ask. That y'all gonna be like, who the fuck knows who lost the World Series 2 years ago, Scott? That shit too hard. Give me some money. That's what y'all niggas gonna be saying. But like, I don't get it. And then like to me, if we're talking about endorsements and all that other shit, chances are, if you the dude that's making $400 million, you got plenty of endorsements.
Yeah.
Like, you probably the best player in the game, at least in the conversation. You ain't got to worry about, well, if I go to the World Series, I ain't going to have these endorsements and shit. Like, nah. Like, you probably got plenty of them, which he does.
Right. I feel like the only thing you actually, do you even lose respect for it?
Right. And even even in his conversation the other day when they interviewed him, they asked him, the print was, first of all, if y'all are looking at the game, what the fuck is up with Ty Lue's pants up to his navel? But anyway, like Bryce Harper was asked, like, how do you feel about, leaving and not to go to the World Series? First thing, he was like, I'm happy for him. Like, I made my decision. I'm good with it. And I can just imagine him sitting back smoking a $100 bill while he was saying that shit. Because he happy. Like, because, I mean, think about all the shit he done won in his life. Yeah. World Series good in the moment. But, and like you said, man, like, you're just there. You ain't even won it yet.
Yeah, they're just there. Now, if they win, hats off, congratulations. But I'm sure he's good with that $400 million. I'm sure he's good.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, like at the end of the day, Steph Curry stuck around the Warriors because they paid him. If they didn't, he would have left.
That's right. That's right. That's a fact.
Like Michael Jordan retired when the Bulls didn't want to pay him, and that nigga could have won 3 more championships.
On a money note, this is actually funny to me. Apparently, Bryce Harper earns $63,000 every time he comes up to bat.
Right.
That's insane. I ain't mad at his decision at all.
Right.
I really ain't. And if he knew, when he signed the contract, he didn't know one way or the other. So I'm not even judging the decision then. I guess the question though was knowing if you could predict that you go into the World Series and what you value in that. Your personal preference, my personal preference, I value that. Just being a competitor, I like competing, I like doing my best. To have the opportunity to be on that stage, give me that, and 250. It ain't give me the World Series and be broke and versus 400. It's 400 versus 250 and the World Series. I'll take that. And at the end of the day, look back and be like, yo, my life wasn't bad. And I will still have a family who's well taken care of, like Yosh said. I will put it aside, budget it, invest it, endorsements. I'm gonna do fine. And not hate on Bryce, not hate on y'all. Look at y'all and be like, yo,
I can't go on the trip with y'all because I'm broke. That's what you
Jay,
told me.
Jay, can you make this our media question of the week? Can you make this our social media
Yes.
question of the week?
Absolutely.
I've got to know how the world feels about this.
Yeah.
I'm assuming they think like y'all though. Honestly,
And when we black, y'all, like you know how hard and you know how next to hard it is for us to get generationally changing wealth. Like I think Oprah did it, Robert Johnson, a few other Jay-Z, like a few, like I can rattle them off.
but you don't think 170 is that? You don't feel like you met
170
your
is really
goal with
not
170?
that. Donald Trump done lost that shit in 5 years. Like you can lose $170 million.
You can lose 400 if you can lose any amount of money.
But it's a lot harder to lose 400 mil. Like you think one of your shit's gonna hit, but you can have a couple bad family members and lose 100 mil.
Lottery winners do it every day, B.
All the time. So now I'm looking at random stats. The average Philadelphian makes $59,592 a year. Bryce Harper makes $63,000 every time he comes up to bat.
All right. And
With his game checks, he could literally buy a 2019 Bentley Bentayga after every game.
all right.
That's crazy.
Meanwhile,
That's all I gotta say.
the dudes in the World Series can buy a Chrysler 300 after every game. So that's not bad.
Nah, some of them is paid too though.
Couple of them.
Yeah.
And it ain't about like again. I'm not knocking him signing that contract. I appreciate that he's that great of a player that the Phillies stepped up and gave him that contract.
I'm shocked at you, Al.
I ain't mad at him at all.
I'm
real talk,
absolutely
give me the World
appalled at
Series.
Alvin right now.
I'm shocked at you, Al.
I am.
I've been on 60 shows with you.
Right.
I am shocked at you.
Why?
Because
I'm just-
this is not the side of the argument I expected from you.
Yeah, this is not normally how I hear you talk.
Y'all ain't heard me talk about liking the win and valuing things beyond money.
I also heard you say verbatim in regards to Jay-Z and Jermaine Dupri. I don't give a fuck if I lied to you.
I remember talking about this in a capitalist society.
Right, and
I'm a capitalist.
But verbatim, you said, I don't give a fuck if I
is-
got to lie to you if I'm gonna get paid. Like,
No, what I said is shame on you if you fell for that shit. Shame on you. This is a go get him. Every man for himself.
right.
That being said, I'm still determining
I want a
how I
World
walk
Series,
in that. Just because I can recognize what type of world it is, that don't mean I have to be like what type of world it is.
Well, Al, let me ask you this: if they lose, does your answer change?
Not
if
at all. Not at all.
So just to be able to play in the World Series,
Give me a
you're going-
chance to swing. Give me a chance to swing. Means something to me.
You taking half the bread.
This is the softer, gentler.
Not
Alvin
even
Gifts,
half
y'all.
though. 250 is
Now
250.
Alvin
Still
Gifts-
is a lot
half,
of money.
bro.
now Alvin likes to be broke in participation trophy.
250 is broke.
In comparison,
$250 million is broke.
in comparison to 400 mil, absolutely.
250 million is never broke. In comparison, I'm taking that.
If I'm the dude with $500 million and you the dude with 200, yes, you broke.
I understand it. I guess let me be clear. $250 million to Alvin Glimpse is never broke.
But yeah, like this ain't like a situation where they just scooped you up out your job and put you in the World Series. Like, so this is a situation where
I
like,
thought the question was to me.
yeah, but in order to be in the World Series, chances are you ain't sitting at a desk for 8 hours a day. So you've already been in this position to earn that money is what I'm saying. So you around dudes that like, it ain't like your comparison is no longer Bob in the next office to you. Now your comparison is to Bryce Harper. You get what I'm saying? So
You
yes,
don't
if I
think
get
250 million? You think he thinks 250 million dollars is broke?
Yeah.
now that he's got 400, yes,
he got
absolutely.
the opportunity to sign for that.
Right, he could have took that.
And he chose.
No. But I understand he chose to sign for that, but that was not knowing what one future what the future for one team.
No, that's
And
not what you asked.
we don't know how much he values that. And I'm not even arguing that because I'm not trying to get into their heads. Because that's not the question that we're discussing, as far as I'm concerned.
Well,
the
you just
question
asked
we're
me what I
discussing is
think he
what
thinks.
Alvin Glimp values, how Alvin Glimp answers that question.
No, sir.
Alvin
You just
Glimp
asked
answers
me.
that question.
You just
Give
asked
$250
me
million
if
in
I
the
think
World
Bryce
Series.
Harper thinks 250 is broke. You asked me that.
It was rhetorical just based on your statement. Yes, I wasn't really asking an answer.
Well, I'll take my answer back. But from my perspective, if you're asking J.R. Glimpf, if I think $250 million is broke to a dude with $500 million, absolutely.
I guess if that's the question, then I agree with you. But I thought the question was, how do I see $250 million? And I don't see $250 million as broke. I don't see it like that.
Yeah, I heard your whack ass response. I'm giving you mine.
Okay, so you whack. Damn, because I'm taking 250 in the World Series. I'm whack. That's cool.
That's a whack, dog.
I've been called whack by whack dudes before. This ain't the first time.
Right. Whack dudes running to the bank. Well, what I'm saying is, man, enjoy your memories. You and your
I will, and I have, because I got plenty.
That you know what that is? Money. That's likes. What? They like likes. They gonna post that shit on Instagram and get likes because they went to the World Series. And
wow,
that's what.
And
that
my
is.
My insecure ass.
Right. Nah.
Okay.
Man. Nah. I mean, I get it. I definitely don't agree with it. I mean, I get it. I'm not a sentimental person, so you know, Al, that's why I wasn't expecting you when it came to that big of a gap. Like financially, I wasn't expecting you to take that side, but that's interesting.
The shit that matters to me. I ain't sentimental, generally speaking, but the shit that matters to me.
Trip to the World Series, true that.
Yeah, and
to
be honest,
if I was a baseball player, like I mean, honestly, in the World Series to me is just kind of what Yosh was saying. It's just symbolic of that lifetime achievement. Like it's the outcome of a year's effort. To me, that if I was surprised that, you know, considering how much we have invested in Defy Life, if someone offered me $250 million and y'all are sitting at the top of the world with Defy Life, or $400 million and you never get to experience that shit. Like what I've invested into this, I would want to see that, experience that, have that part of my life story to be like, yo, I was with these niggas that started Defy Life and earned $250 million first year, and then we just made another $250 million the next year. That was my life story. I'll take that.
Yeah, but I think that's apples to oranges though, because there is no World Series for podcasting. You get what I'm saying? So
no, I don't.
And
there's something that must exist to be the value of what a baseball player would put as the World Series. In this entrepreneurial experience that we're living right now, there is something that's the World Series in terms of value.
Right, but I was also going to say that not only is there no World Series for podcasting, there's also no like wins or losses column. There's also not like signing a contract is apples to oranges to somebody buying out a business. Like it just don't add up to me. So there's no direct comparison. Because chances are, if I got a chance to make $250 million, if we're making $250 million doing Defy Life, like chances are that buyout is not going to be just $400 million. It's going to be substantially higher.
Yeah, which is true, but I think the way Al was putting it was, if somebody said, "Hey, look, you're going to have $250 million, and Defy Life's going to sit on top," or you can take this $400 million right now.
Right, but I'm saying I
understand what you apples to oranges and the situation.
People sell their companies every day.
Right, so that's what I'm saying. Like to make that comparison, that would be the equivalent of we bringing in $250 million off Defy Life, and somebody offers us $5 billion. Like
comparing $250 to $400 million.
Yeah, and we're talking about like if you're gonna equate the gap in a baseball contract to the gap of like acquiring a business, like
okay. So how about this? Instead of acquiring a business, how about if it was it was $250 million to sit on top of the world with Defy Life, or we'll give you $400 million to work another website.
Doing the exact same thing, or just doing
but not with us.
Not with y'all.
No, not with us. Not with us.
And what do
Defy
you?
Life is going to and know that Defy Life in the next year is going to be sitting on top of the world without you.
Yeah,
you're going to be doing well with your $400 million, but those brothers at Defy Life, they're going to be experiencing sitting on top of the world without you.
But you're not sitting on top of the world. You ain't won the World Series.
Okay, whatever the equivalent would be. I'm talking fast.
That's what I'm saying. It's oranges and it's apples and oranges. Like there's no direct comparison.
Why isn't it? Why couldn't it be with one of the websites sitting on top of the world? Maybe we're not sitting on top of the world, but we're top 5.
All right.
We're
so
top
if y'all,
3.
so Defy Life is going to be Bleacher Report, let's say, and we're making $250 million over the next what? What did he sign for?
Next year.
10 years.
Next 10 years.
In 10 years, and I got to leave Defy Life if somebody offers me $400 million.
Correct.
No. That's what I'm saying. It's apples to oranges. Like that doesn't equate. Like a baseball contract doesn't equate.
No, you would or you would not.
No, I said no. I would not leave because it's undervaluing the company.
Yeah, well, I think Jay.
If I'm making $250 million, why would I sell it for $400 million?
Not sell it, leave it.
Leave it and go run another website for $400 million.
That's what I proposed a few minutes ago.
But that's what I'm saying. That's not the same thing.
That's what Bryce Harper did.
No, Bryce Harper's not an owner. He's a player. That's like signing a baseball contract is not the equivalent of like selling your company.
Ooh.
Okay, so
that's what there is no direct comparison. Like Bryce Harper didn't build the Washington Nationals. The Washington Nationals were not his.
Okay,
like,
I agree with that.
By saying that, we're saying that like he has this attachment to the Nationals that I have with the. It's not the same thing.
No, but I think more or less what it was.
He hadn't known his teammates for 20. Like that's not the equivalent. But
let me say this. Because I'm not an owner, right? I'm not a Defy Life owner, and I've helped build it and help evolve in its success. Yes. And if you told me right now that Bleacher Report wants to rock with you, and they're gonna pay you this, or you could have the next Bleacher Report keep doing what you're doing, and you would do it with those guys right there, but you wouldn't make $400 million. Al, you're only gonna make $250 million over the next 10 years. I'm rocking with y'all.
Right, exactly.
When you tell me that that's my future. Now, if you don't give me that in the equation and somebody just buys me out, I'm leaving for $400 million. Let's keep it real.
Right. Yeah.
I'm leaving.
But what I'm saying is like
all that, but I'm leaving.
But that's what I'm saying. It's still not equivalent because we're attaching this like false narrative that Bryce Harper loved his teammates in Washington, that he helped build the franchise, that he got along with everybody there, that he loved going to work every day, that he took this pride in being a National, that we feel for Defy Life. That's not necessarily true.
No, I think
I'm not doing that.
Jay, I don't think that's what we were doing. It was
I'm just saying there's a lot of different dynamics when you asking that question to us that we have to consider, that he ain't got to consider that shit. He ain't loyal to them. He ain't loyal to the Nationals. To that
it's just a matter of, I think it was a matter of like, because the question was, what do you value? And I think it was more of, we know how much you value the company itself of Defy Life.
Right.
And so the analogy that there was an attempt to be made was, are you going to give up what you value for which do you value, what you value or the money? And I think that's what the question was coming down to. Do you value what you value and put your hard work into? Because, the hard work, I think the analogy there is the hard work that's put into getting to a championship is the same way as you're trying to make your business as successful as possible. And although there are no awards for podcasting because all of them, there ain't no real award for it.
They play.
But I mean, and that's true. I mean, shoot, at the end of the day, championships, the trophies are just the trophies.
Right.
But I think the analogy that myself and Al were trying to make is the value system. Like, what is it that you particularly value when it comes to when we know it's something that you feel passionate about? Now, some people feel passionate about money. Like, they'll take the money all day. Like, it doesn't matter what option you give them, they'll take the money all day. But then there's other people that value the thing, like for an athlete, there are some athletes that value getting to the championship, because how many times do we see players take pay cuts to stay in places where they have an opportunity to win a championship? But then we have others that bail for the bread. Carmelo Anthony is one of the major ones. Like, shit, I'm gonna go make as much money as I possibly can, and at the end of the day, I'm gonna be rich as hell and not have nothing. Well,
Melo wanted to play for the Knicks.
Well,
like Melo had that.
So and comparing an athlete, but once again, comparing an athlete's contract to a business, it's not
money.
too.
I'm not comparing those two.
I'm just saying it's a bad analogy. No matter how y'all try to explain it or twist it or add or take away, it's a bad analogy to me.
We're not making an analogy of the contracts. It's about what you value.
I'm saying the situation
even if what you value, people,
whether if you value money or what it is you're working towards,
people sell their businesses every day because
it's either you value the money or what you're working towards. And if you value the money, there's no problem with that.
No, here's what I'm saying.
It's agreeing to disagree at this point.
Here's what I'm saying. Here's what I'm saying. Either way, it's not a wrong decision. You like.
Right.
Coca-Cola didn't invent Gatorade.
Right.
Somebody sold it to them.
Right.
Most of these companies didn't do the thing that they're doing now. Somebody else did it, and they came to them and said, "Hey, we know you put your heart, soul, and sweat into this, and we're willing to offer you." And they blow their motherfucking minds.
I.e., Facebook now owns YouTube. We just finished talking about it. So it's like all these conglomerate, all these big ass businesses that Facebook now owns. Facebook didn't start that shit. It's just it comes to a point where they're just like, like they have to offer
that.
Right,
nobody's
but that's
arguing, nobody's arguing that with you.
Okay, but what I'm saying is your initial question was, am I taking the $400 million? Like, this analogy just doesn't make sense. Because and let me finish. And so, like, because we're talking about Bryce Harper, and so I'm assuming you're making an analogy because we were talking about that. And so, like, the fact that Bryce Harper can go win a World Series anywhere is there's 30 other franchises he can do that with, and like the people he's with, and not be invested in the franchise and not like them, and just be loyal to the dude who signs his check at the time. Like, that's different than when you're making the comparison of any of us who've invested in a baby and built it from ground up. And, like, that's just different. That's different values that you're attaching, because we see that all the time, too, is dudes that leave for more money and they go win a championship. Shit, Kawhi did it.
I guess all I'm just wanting, and I'll say it again, is the question, original question, and the essence of it is more knowing it. When I'm not questioning Bryce, I ain't questioning nobody. It's really just knowing that one scenario involves having this, you are the success that you've been sustaining or working towards for the last 7 years. You're about to attain it with this group of people and make a considerable amount of money is really appealing to me. And just to say $400 million, the guaranteed feature of that first option, that's the part of it that I see the analogy. It makes sense to me, but
I just don't get what I would gain by leaving the Defy Life and making only like to me, you'd have to offer me like upwards of range. Like if we're talking about a business acquisition, you have to offer me at least 10 times what I'm making. Like at least 250, like at least 25 billion. You get what I'm saying? Like that's different than signing a baseball. That's why it just don't make sense to me. It's hard for me to equate because like those dudes, he ain't know. Like most of them dudes on that team, he don't know them. He may have two friends on the team. Like I've known y'all for 20 years. I've known you all my life. Like there's a difference, and like that value system is different than saying I'm leaving a franchise in free agency and signing with another one that I could win a world championship with too. Like that, it's just hard for me to equate the two.
Hey, Jay.
Yeah.
Completely off topic. Since I've known you, you are a master orator.
Absolutely.
While you're here, you could get in a little bit early on Friday. We're dealing with argumentation in my class. Please come.
Oh, absolutely.
Because listen, bro, I tell you good. I enjoy it. I enjoy it. Right. I really enjoy it.
Right, which is why we're 130 episodes deep.
I do feel like I gotta make one correction. Facebook is not on YouTube; they on Instagram. Moving right along.
Thank you. I was like, wow, when did that happen?
Yeah, one of them motherfuckers. They own a big ass social media.
But
network.
Google, I think owns
Google
YouTube,
owns
so your
YouTube.
point is still well taken.
Right.
Oh, kick it out.
Right. So
when someone comes to buy what you created, there is a point where you're interested in listening.
Right. Absolutely. And trust me, there will be no shot at y'all. If somebody came and offered me $5 billion, if we raking in $250 million, and somebody like offers me $5 billion, don't take that shit personally, B. I'm considering it.
Oh, let me be clear. Again, I love y'all to the end and back again. But if they offer me $150 million more to do what I'm doing, I'm leaving.
Right, yeah,
because
that's what I'm saying. I don't think that's anything to do about value.
Your value. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. I don't think it's a question about value.
It's not. No, it's not on your value. What I'm thinking about is
it's not even a question of my values.
It is a reflection of your value.
No, it's not. It's a to me that's a business deal.
That's what you value, though, right?
Okay, well, I will accept it as a reflection of my values.
That's all I'm saying.
Because here's what I'm thinking about. Here's what I'm thinking about when they call my phone and make me that offer.
Hey,
I'm
Money,
thinking about
hold on a second. Money, before you make your point, Money, you're making like your arguments are coming through a whole lot better now that you have a mic. I just wanted to say that.
That is true. You sound like a new man. I appreciate you being on my side of the conversation now.
Yeah, like you bring that power with you now.
Right.
So go ahead.
I appreciate it. Here's what I'm saying.
That was nice.
I will accept that being a reflection of my value. Because when they call me and they make me that offer, here's what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about, damn, well, my mom ain't never in her life, been able to not have to worry about nothing. My pops, his whole life, ain't never been in a position where he had to never worry about nothing. I got 6 siblings. They like I would like for it to be a reflection of my values. So because those are the things that I'm thinking about when I'm making this decision. I got friends that I love. Can I set them up? I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
See, that's why I like Money with the mic.
Money
Mike.
Now we got a friend named Money Mike. It's a song.
Oh shit, we do that.
But,
we call you Mike Money.
So when I say a reflection of my values, I don't mind that at all. Because just because you say, yeah, I want to take the money, that doesn't make you bad. It doesn't make you greedy. It doesn't make you, for me, like we said, the goal is to take care of your family. But see, my goal is not to take care of my family. My goal is to give my family as much generational wealth as they possibly can, because there are people in this country who's had generation of being able to leave their family generational wealth and things that they can build on to let the next generation have a leg up, but not our people. Our parents were really the first generation that were able to leave us anything, and if they screwed anything up, they ain't leaving us shit. So that is a reflection of my values, and I'll leave it there.
Shit, drop your mic, man. That's all.
Yeah, it was pretty beautiful.
It was. But yeah, and chances are, if I leave Defy Life and y'all stuck with some webmaster who's not quite as handsome and clever and y'all, I'm coming back to get y'all anyway, so we ain't worried about that shit. But yeah,
hey, me.
Right? Yeah. Who wants to work with some drab host who's not quite as how'd you put it, Yosh? Eloquent in an argumentative form. Like I like that.
Such a skilled orator.
Skilled orator, yeah. Some people love to be liked. I just want to be hated sometimes. So
yeah, we'll call our new shit "Death Lives" or something.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. They'll never know. All right. Speaking of some shit that's just like just ridiculous, trying to like cover up some shit. Did y'all see the article I sent y'all? Just CBS with the high school football team canceled the rest of their season.
No, I didn't get that article.
Yo.
Yes.
So,
yes, I did.
So there's a high school that had a player, running back, their best player, who was suspended. He got ejected from the final game last season. So, of course, high school rules, he has to be suspended for the following game, which is the first game of this year. What does the high school do? Changes his number from number 4 to number 24. Puts a new name in the program, and suits him up.
But
in the first game of the season.
Favorite part, he went from senior to freshman.
Senior to freshman. Yeah, they put in like some freshman. It was just out of the blue. They're good as fuck. And now they're 7-0 and got people caught up with it. And they had to forfeit the remainder of their season. And the only reason the people recognized him was from his tattoos. So that nigga is Death Lives. It's crazy.
I know the name of this show.
Right. Oh shit. Oh man. Well, damn good question, Alvin. Anytime we take 30, 45 minutes talking about your question, you submitted a dope-ass question. So, Alvin Glamp, thank you for your question, sir.
Wow, not bad for my first question.
Right.
For the show.
Like you,
Oh,
2
man.
for 2 on that network.
All right. Question master.
Right. Our second question is from Bryan in Atlanta, faithful listener who's, I think Bryan is maybe his 9th, 10th time since submitting a question. So shout out to you, Bryan, with a Y. Bryan's an Eagles fan. And, of course, you know how Eagles fans treat their coaches. Al, Yosh, pretty sure you're really familiar with how Eagles fans treat their coaches and players when shit ain't going well. And Bryan says, I know how my team is looking right now, but, there's a lot of people saying that we should fire the coach. So his email was a lot longer than the question. So just some background. He's like, he understands that, how stupid it is for people to think that they should fire their coach right now. But just in general, he wants to know, how do you feel about firing coaches mid-season? Money, you first. How do you feel about firing coaches mid-season? Money with the mic.
Now he's muted.
All right. So
Right.
money with the mic then goes to you.
Right. Well, West Coast. It's been a while since I heard from you. What do you feel about firing coaches mid-season?
In the middle of the first season, I'm against it. In the middle of the first season, figure it out. Let them at least try and work through it. Now, in the middle of the third, fourth, some time season, they can go in the middle of the they can go.
Okay.
That's
all things being
that
equal.
simple for me.
Okay.
Like I feel like you can't necessarily. The middle of the season is what, exactly 8 games, exactly 9 games. However you want to look at it, either the beginning or the end.
Halftime of the 8th game.
Right. So in the middle of the season, yeah, I feel like that is an entirely. Now I feel like the Eagles coach should not get fired in the middle of the season. He did win him a Super Bowl.
Right.
He's earned a little bit of leeway.
Right.
Now, if we talking about some other coaches,
Like it was Hugh Jackson and some shit.
Marvin Lewis, Marvin Lewis lived. He outlived
Cowboys
his
coach name.
Jason Garrett.
Yeah. Since everybody
Yeah.
and I just say that out because now everybody telling me they want him fired. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
Yeah. No shot at the Cowboys.
Like, Jason Garrett is he's definitely always on. He seems to be on a perpetual hot seat.
Right.
For everybody except Jerry.
For everybody except you and Jerry, apparently.
Okay, yeah, me too. Well, I was a little. I did take a step back last week, and I still feel that way. It's about results, but I've definitely been a traditional Jason Garrett.
You know, if we was to go to Money's Panthers, had Cam Newton stayed in, continued to play injured, and they kept losing, Riverboat Ron would have lost his job in the middle of the season.
Yeah. Right.
You know, but there's things that happen. Like it's completely situational as far as I'm concerned. But if a team if you've given me a horrible season and then follow that up with a losing streak, like a significant losing streak, anywhere between 3 and 5 games, yeah, you might be considered, unless it's your first year. That's the only exception I have. If it's your first year, you inherited that team. You know, make a team first.
Or if you won a Super Bowl.
Or if Doug Peterson won the Super Bowl, he should get that year of leeway. Like, you as a Steeler fan should understand that Mike Tomlin is probably not going nowhere for real.
Yeah, and he shouldn't.
Right. Like, you can't, injuries shouldn't derail you. But like, you've got your team that you put together, you drafted for the last 2-3 years.
Right.
These your people. Yeah, you should probably go in the middle of the season.
Yosh, what say you? You find a coach in the middle of the season, or you let him stick around?
Yep. His ass can go. I don't got no full explanation. Shit.
That shit is funny.
I ain't got no whole long-winded anything. Like, here's the thing. I think just like with any job.
As he expands.
You're right, Money. You're right. See, here's the thing, Money. We can hear you now that you have a mic, so you're right. Go ahead. Next up.
Money.
Nah, go ahead, brother.
No, Money, I actually called on you first, so you don't know. I guess you was out admiring your microphone.
That boy got a new toy over there,
right.
boy.
Listening
got
to Biggie.
distracted.
Yo, I got this joint suspended from like the ceiling and shit. It's got an arm, yo. It's dope as fuck, yo. I got
dancing around the mic.
And it sound like he 5 and just got his first Nintendo.
Right.
I've been singing
calling people.
No, I can't sing.
On the phone with Michael Smith and Jamel Hill.
Yo, Jay, when he called me yesterday, I was like, why is he calling me on Skype?
Right. I was like, out the blue. Show off his new.
Out the blue? Why is he calling me on Skype?
That's the equivalent of some, like you said, he 5. Some kid showing up at your house just out the blue on a new bike. Like, hey, y'all want to go ride? Like, what? Man, it's like Tuesday. I got homework to do. What are you doing? Nah, but I got this new bike, cuz. Let's go ride. Like, that was what Money was doing yesterday, showing off his new bike.
Nah, man, I was trying to make sure I had the audio and input and outputs going, because I got them going separately. Going separately.
We appreciate the call, sir.
No doubt.
Yeah, I thought I was late for the show and shit. I was like,
I thought I was early. I was confused.
I was panicking,
confused,
like, damn, was you doing the show? I'm late. Like, yeah, I was all disoriented and tired and shit. I was like, fuck, I'm late. But yeah, glad you're good to go, Money. But you firing your coach mid-season?
Nah, I'm not. Oh, honestly, no. I take it back. I agree with Yosh. My coach can get fired, fucking, because I agree. Anybody will fire you anytime for anything. They do it at work every day, so fuck it. I fire my coach anytime too. He's stinging it up. He can go.
All right. Al, what say you?
Definitely. And I would probably, I mean, I guess the warning sign, something I would pay attention to, is whether or not the players have stopped playing for them. Mm-hmm. And once I saw that, is probably what would cause me to fire somebody. Otherwise, I'm gonna allow you to play it out, especially since contracts is guaranteed. I'll probably just not, because it's a. I mean, if you don't have a plan B, whether it's somebody on staff or.
What if the contract was $450 million? No, I'm just kidding.
You gotta stay. You know, it just, I don't want to just to send your ass packing, cause more chaos in the midst of a season, and you know, I just want to make sure you have another option. But otherwise, yeah, I would let somebody go.
Okay. Oh, damn good question.
But I mean,
Bryan.
the Peterson, I don't think he deserves to be fired. I mean, he did talk a little shit before the game, and then they got mollywopped. But
Right.
I wouldn't fire him just for that.
Nah, I mean, I gotta move West Coast. He's earned that right at least.
And Carson Wentz just isn't playing very well.
No,
I understand that.
Yeah.
I understand that the coach gets a lot of flack, but he's stinking it up out there.
Yeah, Carson Wentz ain't really played well since he got injured. So
That's what I've been telling people.
right. So I don't know. Appreciate your question, Bryan. You know, you always check in with us periodically, so appreciate that. And you, Bryan, I appreciate Bryan. Y'all even know this, but Bryan always leaves his comments on the show on LinkedIn. I appreciate that shit. Like, be different. Yeah. Fuck Twitter. Who needs Facebook? Who needs all that shit? Go to LinkedIn and leave us a comment on the show. I like that shit, Bryan. We appreciate you. Y'all definitely keep the questions coming. You know, we enjoy answering them. So if you got something you want to get off your chest, you disagree with us, if you want something answered, hit us up on social media, all platforms at Go Defy Life, or you can email us at info@godefylife.com. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we will come back and talk some NFL and give our NBA predictions. We'll be right back.
Welcome to the Anything, Everything, and Nothing podcast with Lynn and Kim. Join us as we discuss the latest in everything from entertainment and current events to the craziness that is our real life.
Let's laugh, let's live, let's talk about it. New episode every Tuesday on the Defy Life Podcast Network. And remember, if you're not defying life, then what are you doing? Lynn and Kim.
Welcome back to episode 130 of the Defy Life Podcast. It's J.R. Glimpf. That was our sisters, Lynn and Kim, of Anything, Everything, and Nothing. Definitely check them out. They will have you in stitches. So whether it's Alvin asking a question and them going the fuck off on him, or me just calling in and interrupting their recording, just check it out. They always keep you on your toes. So Lynn and Kim, proud of y'all. They coming up on episode 50. Excited about that shit. Yosh, you work close with Lynn and Kim. What do you think about their progress from episode 1 to their 50th episode?
Well, episode 1, they didn't want to listen. Now they listening, and so they shot. No, their ability to adapt. Like if something's not working, they're not going to stay with it just to stay with it. They're going to get rid of it if it's not working. They have conversations with me all the time about Like this is not a shot at anybody, so none of our other podcasts take this personally. But they're one of the few podcasts that calls me and say, hey, what did you think of the show? And so when people ask me in my position in the company, what do I think of the show? I think they have an opportunity.
Where's regular Scott when you need him?
They have an opportunity to give, from what I do as far as, hey, let's pull up your numbers and your analysis that tells you, hey, people stopped listening at this part of the show. Okay, so what was that this part of the show? All right. Okay, you did this segment. Maybe we need to scrap that segment because people stopped listening. They fast forwarded past that segment, and so they're very and they want to get better. They want to be the best at it. And they just really, really want to be the best at it, and it's that drive. They make a lot of sacrifices, being that they live in two different cities, about an hour apart, which doesn't seem like a lot, but when there's kids and Kim's starting a business and they find time to get in the same room and record. Each week they make those sacrifices to make it happen. Right. And sometimes Lynn pisses Kim off. But, Kim kind of that's some behind the scenes stuff. I hope they don't call me and curse me out. But
I think that at some point we all piss Kim off.
Oh, yeah, listen. And that's the last person you want pissed off.
Right.
Kim don't care what she say to who. So she don't care nothing about nothing. Like, I done had to say, hey, sis, I'll call you back. Let me. Right. I don't want to hear your mouth right now, so let me call you back. But no, I think it's just their willingness to learn. They do great with taking criticism, and they just want to be the best show on the network, and I think it's great. Their chemistry is amazing, and I think that. Here's the funny thing. They do a show each week, and then they talk every day for about 10 hours. Right. So I just don't know how they have that much to talk about.
Right. That's what I was like. I thought me and you talk a lot, Yosh. Good God.
Listen. Shoot. Me and you talk a lot, Jay. Me and CL talk a lot. On a daily basis, I talk to three people. Kim, Jay, and CL. Right. So that's my day.
They're left out.
I'm sorry, Money, but it's just be on a daily basis. It's those three that I talk to because Kim's calling me about the podcast. Me and Jay are probably dealing with something with the network, and CL everything from basketball to relationships to the podcast to him spray painting a truck. And I go, what are you spray painting the truck for? Oh, yeah, man, this is my other business. I said, bro, you had like 5 others ones the other day. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, I just started this. So from all of that, for them to talk that much, and that's more than me and anybody else talking a day combined, and then they still come up with 2.5 hours worth of content every day, which that's the only thing they have not taken my advice on. So we got to have a meeting about that. But at the end of the day, they put some quality content out there. And any listener listening to this, if you want a good laugh, hey, go ahead and check them out. They really put a lot into their show.
Absolutely. Well, speaking of long ass shows, we are already an hour and 58 minutes in, so we need to speed things along here. We're going old school, but so we're gonna really quickly. Al, what do you know? Yes, know sir. From NFL Week 7.
That the Falcons are having a terrible year, and that the Jets can't handle the blitz.
They see ghosts.
Okay, and I'm trying to keep these, so since we brief one sentences. Cowboys play better with both offensive tackles starting the game.
Yeah, that helps.
That helps.
Yeah. West Coast, what do you know from NFL Week 7?
NFL Week 7, backup quarterbacks are okay.
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 Like they're okay. They're not the starters, but they're okay.
Makes sense. All right. Money. What do you know from NFL Week 7?
Unless you're in Charlotte, then the backup is the starter forever because he's better than Brady. and I'll use that for what I know.
All right.
I will use that. There's no way on God's green earth that Kyle Allen is anywhere in comparison to Cam Newton. Panthers fans that are smoking that shit need to stop smoking that shit. Just stop it. Please stop. You're driving me crazy.
I think we just said the same thing. They are okay.
All right. Yeah. All right. Yosh, what do you know after NFL Week 7?
After NFL Week 7, I know that the NFC sucks. That's it. I ain't got nothing else.
Point taken. All right. Well, that's all we're going to talk about from the NFL, other than the fact that to catch you up on another trade has gone down. If you haven't heard, Denver has dealt wide receiver Emmanuel Sanders to Jay's San Francisco 49ers. Pretty good pickup. And
hell yeah.
Yeah, pretty good pickup for the Niners. And also the Falcons somehow managed to finagle a second-round pick for Mohamed Sanu from the Patriots.
Wow.
Yeah.
Not mad at them for that move.
All right. And although it'll be a low second-round pick, still a second-round pick for Mohamed Sanu. Good God. Which leads me to question. It's kind of funny that Josh Gordon missed last week's game with knee and ankle injuries. Is something going on with him again, and they were kind of desperate to get another receiver in there. So we'll see. You're always questioning when Josh Gordon misses time. But yeah, so just wanted to catch up on those. Really quick, our NBA preview. Al, starting with you. Who's going to be the scoring champ this year in the NBA?
Giannis.
All right. Yosh, scoring champ.
Steph.
All right. Money, scoring champ.
James Harden.
Okay. West Coast.
Steph.
And Steph wins. All right. I was wondering if you was going to pick out another prolific scorer, but yeah, all those make sense though. All right. Defensive player of the year. West Coast.
Joel Embiid.
Okay. Al.
Gobert.
Rudy. Yosh.
Gobert.
All right. Money.
Rudy Gobert.
All right. West Coast doesn't respect Rudy Gobert because he's French.
Hater.
That is the reason. That is the raison d'être.
Hey, Boris Diaw almost turned me against all French players, so I get it.
French.
He's the most don't even get me started.
Yes, French.
Yeah, Tony Parker was like the counterbalance of Boris
Right.
Diaw. He was like, Tony was French before French was cool. Oh man. Rookie of the year. Who you got, Money?
Well, my guy's gonna be out a long time, but either R.J. Barrett or Zion.
Okay. Yosh?
Oh, I'm gonna go with a kid that I actually coached against, Ja Morant.
Like that kid.
Me too.
Yeah. All right.
I think he sees the game differently. He plays with the smoothest. I think well, anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Al?
I'm going with Barrett.
All right. West Coast?
I'm with Yosh again. Ja Morant.
Okay. Coach of the year. Yosh.
Oh, Budenhauser. God damn it, I can't never say his damn name.
Budenhauser. You right.
From the
dude.
Yeah, Budenhauser.
Coach Bud, what we called him in Atlanta. All right. Money? Coach of the year.
Shit.
I don't know.
When you don't
Doc
know, just say
Rivers.
Popovich. Okay, yeah, Doc. Okay, good one. West Coast, Coach of the Year.
Mike Malone of the Denver Nuggets.
Good one.
Good one.
Yeah. Al, Coach of the Year.
Mike Malone.
Good one. All right. Now we'll get into it. MVP. Who you got, Al?
Giannis.
All right. Money.
I'm going to second that.
All right. West Coast.
Nikola Jokic of the Denver Nuggets.
Wow. Okay.
Dark horse.
All right. Yosh.
Joker.
Wow. Okay. We got two for Giannis, two for Joker. Okay. All right.
Other than Gobert, Yosh been right this whole time.
Right. Okay. Who you got meeting in the Eastern Conference Finals, Yosh?
I was trying to find my clip, but
But he picked you first.
yeah, no. I was trying to find my clip from the show because I was going to play it off the show. But no, I got the Bucks over the Bucks and 76ers.
All right. Money. Eastern Conference Finals.
I like, once again, I got to go Boston. I like Boston, and I'm going to say Boston and Milwaukee.
Okay. West Coast.
Yosh was right, other than Gobert.
All right. Al.
I'm going Philly, Boston.
Okay. All right, Al. Right back to you. Who you got in the Western Conference Finals?
I'm going the Nuggets and the Lakers.
Okay. West Coast.
Al was right, other than Gobert.
All right. Yosh. Western Conference Finals.
The Nuggets and the Jazz.
Ooh, you finally think that young team's ready, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Wait till we get to the bowl prediction money. Just wait till we get to the bowl prediction.
The Nuggets and the Jazz. I think that may be the one time that hockey outrates the conference finals.
Literally the least watched conference finals in history.
Yeah. Oh,
It ain't-
man. All right. Money. What say you? Western Conference.
Something. I don't think it's gonna happen, but the Clippers and the
Hold up.
Rockets.
You don't think your prediction is going to happen?
Well, because I was gonna say slate both LA teams up,
Okay.
but I don't. I think one will end up being a higher seed, and they'll end up playing other teams. But you know what? Fuck it. Bold prediction and conference finals: LA and LA. Although I also like the Clippers and the Rockets.
Okay. All right. So which one are you going with?
Give me LA and the Rockets, man, because I don't think AD is gonna stay healthy all season.
Okay. All right. So, Money, do you remember who you had in the finals? Or who do you have in the finals? Who you taking in the finals out of the 4 teams you got?
I'm taking the Bucks and the Clippers.
Who's winning?
I think, hey, Kawhi, man. Somebody got to beat him for me. Somebody got to beat him for me to think he's gonna be beaten.
Okay. Yosh, who you got in the finals and who you got winning it?
Bucks and the Nuggets. Bucks winning it.
Okay. Al, who you got in the finals and who's gonna win it?
I got the Nuggets over the Sixers.
Wow. Okay.
Oh, he blew that.
Wow. West Coast.
Got Lakers and Sixers. Lakers and 6.
Okay. All right. I'm saving your ass for last, Yosh. West Coast.
Save yours for last.
Give me one bold prediction for this NBA season, West Coast.
The Phoenix Suns then their back-to-back top 5 picks will upset the Houston Rockets in the first round of the playoffs.
Interesting. I
like
that.
it, though.
Yeah. Okay. Money. What's your one bold prediction for this season?
The Orlando Magic make it into the second round.
Okay. All right. Al, what's your one bold prediction, sir?
Houston Rockets do not make the playoffs.
Shit. Gotta say you and Yosh for last. Yosh, what's your one bold prediction, sir?
This is going to be amazing.
All right.
The Rockets, as well as the Lakers, will not make the playoffs.
Wow. All right. So,
in this season? You talking about this season?
This season,
You talking about this season, buddy?
This season right here.
True that.
So, first we'll touch mildly on the lighter of these bold predictions. Al and Yosh, what leads you to believe that the Rockets won't make the playoffs?
I'll go first. I just think the West is really deep, and you just have a feeling about something, and I just feel like something's going to go wrong. And considering the depth on the West, I mean, the West is, you could really see it where the Houston and Golden State doesn't make the playoffs. I mean, you talk about the Lakers, Clippers, Nuggets, Spurs, Portland, Utah. That's 6. If the Pelicans have a miracle season with Zion and get into the playoffs, that's 7.
That won't happen, but
I know. I'm just saying stuff can't happen because Zion is a once in a lifetime type of a player. So I'm just saying you never know. That's 7. Then you got Oklahoma, Minnesota,
Sacramento.
I'm just saying.
Had them 3 though.
I mean, again, in the sense of a team in the NBA, you never know as players improve over the summer what product you're going to look like, and all these teams got talented youth. I'm just saying that's why I say Houston. I just got a bad feeling.
All right, the depth of the Rockets makes me disagree with you.
Houston definitely going to the playoffs.
Okay.
What makes you say they're not, Yosh?
I think that you took you're putting 2 guys together that are ISO ball players. They ranked last year. They ranked number 1 and number 2 in usage rate. That means scoring with the ball in their hands.
Right.
They don't score from off the ball. I think James Harden was something like -1% or something like right at 1%, and Westbrook was at like 2% or something like that of his shots came without the ball. I just think that the chemistry is going to be an issue. It sounds cool right now. Yeah, I'm gonna go ball with my homeboy until your homeboy putting up 30 fucking shots and you sitting over there waiting for the ball. And then you talking about Westbrook going from his team to Harden's team when Harden left Westbrook's team. You know what I'm saying? So I just think the dynamic just is not going to work. And that coupled with the depth of the West, I just don't think they make it over that hump where they make the playoffs. And everybody's looking at it like, yo, they got these 2 dynamic players. Yeah, and if they learn to play together, I guess they possibly could. But I just think it's going to take them too long of a period of time, because you're talking about how long has Harden been in Houston and been the man where he's had the ball in his hands. I mean, shit. I mean, you couldn't play with Chris Paul, and Chris Paul was probably one of the best point guards one of the top point guards to ever play the game, and you couldn't play with him.
Chris Paul's skills were greatly diminished by the time he got to Houston.
Yeah, but still, he was still able to handle the ball, pass the ball. He had no problem, giving it up to you, and you couldn't play with him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Chris Paul's offense in coach's offense, though. That's the other difference. Is that Chris Paul, every time he got the ball, I felt like the Rockets' offense
stopped. Yeah, it really slowed down.
And
every time he got the ball, he put up a shot.
I think it's a bit hyperbolic to say they couldn't play together. They did go to the Western Conference Finals twice, and the playoffs every year they were together. So
then in that aspect, Jay, you're right. I'm just saying in the sense where the relationship deteriorated.
Yeah, but everybody hates Chris Paul.
Yeah, everybody does hate Chris Paul.
But you know, I think that I just don't see it. Maybe something happens to change my mind, but
let me tell you why it is going to work.
Okay.
Because over the last 4 seasons, we've seen Russell Westbrook average 12.8 maybe assists per game. Meaning that he actually passes a lot. I know he gets a bad rap for shooting a lot, but he also passes a lot. And the Rockets, they like high speed shots anyway. I think there's going to be plenty of shots to go around between the two of them, and he's going to play the Chris Paul minutes, meaning like when a lot of the minutes that Harden's not on the court, Westbrook will be running the team and he'll be on the court by himself. So there's going to be a segment in between at the end of the first and second quarter where they're not on the court together, and both of them can still get their individual shine, and those 13 assists are going to have to go to somebody, and James Harden will be very happy to make them his. So I actually think it will work. I think it'll be fine. Okay. And D'Antoni likes the ball shot in 8 seconds or less, so I think it'll be fine.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. The other thing I see about the Rockets in particular is their depth. The Rockets legitimately got 2 starting 5s that they can just put on the floor.
Yeah, no, I feel you.
Legitimately 2.
I'll take shots, so don't matter. Don't matter what the depth is. There's only 2 shots.
All right.
You can have 50 people out there. You could have 10 5s, but if only 2 people shooting the ball, it don't matter. It ain't but one ball.
Dude, do you know how often the Rockets shoot? It's plenty of shots in that offense.
Is one ball, and I just don't think.
And 7 seconds or less.
Eric Gordon gets more shots than most starters.
And so then you listen to what you're saying. Once again, it's going to go back to them finding the balance, because you think he's still not going to want his shots.
It's plenty of shots in that offense, man. That's what I'm telling you. It's plenty of shots in that offense.
Okay.
There's no bad shot in that offense. As soon as you cross half court, if you want to shoot it, D'Antoni be like, fuck it, shoot it. Like, there's no bad shots in that offense.
I'm not talking about D'Antoni. I'm not talking about there being no bad shots. I'm talking about individuals with personal feelings that are used to certain things. And when everything's all good when you're winning. The issue is in the depth of the West, when games are tight and stuff is close, what is it going to look like?
Well, they'll go to the second round and lose because they still have the same fundamental identity.
The point is they still have to make it there.
Oh, they'll make it.
Yeah, they're going to get there. They're going to get upset by the Phoenix Suns in the first round.
Okay. They got to get there first. That's all I'm saying. They got to get there first.
Well, at least there is an argument to that question. The second question I want to ask you is, how the hell are the Lakers not making the playoffs?
I mean, well, right now they're losing 79-68. I know it's the third quarter.
I ain't ask you that. How are the Lakers not making the playoffs?
I just don't. I think health-wise, they're just not going to be able to hold up. Personally, and I think that and other issues are probably going to arise. And so that's just my own personal opinion. People ask me my opinion. I tell them why.
I love opinions, but I also like opinions backed up better than other reasons. I don't know why. I need reasons.
Well, I'm gave you one of my major reasons is their health. I just don't think they're going to stay healthy for the entire. I don't think they're going to be able to sustain the health throughout.
All right. And what are those other things that may arise that you mentioned?
I think chemistry at certain points is going to be an issue. I think they're going to have to try to figure out a way. I think the acquisition of Dwight Howard, I don't think they should have made that particular move. I think there were maybe some other pieces they could have went and got that would have been more, that would have fit them a little bit better, that would have made me feel better about picking them to make the playoffs. But, you know, if they make it, they make it. But the way it stands right now, if you're talking about who have to pick, and we're talking about, like I said, the depth of the West and how hard teams are going to come at them and how physical people are going to attempt to be. And they're big and they're sizable, but defensively, there's a lot of point guards that they can't play because the only person that they're going to be able to play to be able to play defense is Bradley, with LeBron on the floor playing the point. And I just think that at two certain points, that's going to become a detriment when you're playing against more skilled people who have more skilled guards than they do. So that's just.
So you don't think Rondo can play defense?
Oh no, I think.
What?
I think
Is that a real statement?
Wow.
I think Rondo's better days are behind him. Like, you're asking my opinion. I'm telling you, like, so.
No, I mean, like, you gotta understand, and when you like, this is like the equivalent of saying like Halle Berry's ugly as fuck. Like, so, like, when you make a bold statement like that, you gotta understand you're gonna get some pushback. So,
Oh no, that's fine. I'm good with the pushback. I'm
so,
okay.
So,
I mean,
like,
Josh called me crazy. Wanted to check make sure I wasn't sniffing coke or something like that. He said. So
yeah.
Put a bet on it. You know what I'm saying?
I'm trying to figure out like at what point Rajon Rondo can't play defense, like stuff like that. I'm just like, that's
I just don't think he can play as well as he has before.
But that's a lot of like gray area between elite defender and which he
defender and the difference between elite defender and good defender. If you're talking about, he's got a like. I think I've been watching this game for the last however long. Is he hurt or something?
No, yeah, he's not playing tonight.
So he's not playing.
He's not playing tonight. But
he's
like,
not playing.
I mean, he's definitely not the player he used to be because he's aged.
Right.
He's
but
still
I
a
don't,
good defender.
Right, and I don't think he's like as bad enough of the defender when he causing a team not to make the playoffs.
Well, I'm not, but I don't think that he's the one defender that's going to change the way they play. The fact that they're defensively inclined. Like
Rondo's a very good defender. Anthony Davis is an elite defender.
Okay.
Right.
I'm not questioning Anthony Davis. I'm not questioning LeBron's ability to play help side defense and all of that. I'm not questioning that. I'm just talking about when they're playing teams that have multiple good guards. Like you're talking about, okay, let's take for example, a team like the Rockets who have two really good guards. You know what I'm saying? So you mean to tell me Rondo could keep up with either Westbrook or James Harden, and then Beverly's going to have to defend the other one? Well, shoot, you ain't going to have Beverly and Rondo on the floor at the same time because you're trying to go with the size. So it's just, you know.
But apparently, based off our previous discussion, the Rockets suck because.
No, I just don't think they're going to have the chemistry. I just think they have the chemistry. I don't think the Rockets are going to. I didn't say they sucked. I just think that their chemistry is going to hurt them more.
They ain't making the playoffs. They're not very good.
Oh, they're not going to play the play. They're not going to make. A team in the West could have a winning record and not make the playoffs. It doesn't mean they suck.
The Lakers going to the playoffs, though. They got way too much talent.
Okay.
I mean, you can't control for injuries, but I think the team they built around LeBron this year is so much better than the one they had last year.
Right.
And it's the shooters, Anthony Davis. I mean, it's Kuzma. Yeah, they're making the playoffs.
Okay. I mean, hey, you know, that's why you're wrong.
I can't say you're wrong till the end of the season. Just like one of them things. Yeah, right. I mean, I actually like the Dwight Howard move. Like, but again, I can't say you're wrong until it happens. It's kind of one of those things. I remember when Pooh got pissed with me because I said Reggie Bush wasn't going to be like that good of a pro, and I was just like, I just got to wait 5 years and say I told you so. So I'll wait until the end of the season and say I told you so.
I even like the Quinks. I'm okay with it. Move.
I'm okay with it being. I'm okay with it being at the end of the year. At the end of the year, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. It's okay. It's what I believe at this moment. At this moment, right now, I don't believe they make the playoffs. Yeah, they just went on. I tell you that.
Yeah, I can't tell you you're wrong right now. So
yeah.
So
yeah, but Jay, you only like the Dwight Howard move because you only a lifelong Laker fan for the last 9 months.
9 months, right? That's right.
No,
so
I actually liked the Dwight Howard move.
No, I did too.
And
they really didn't have a choice.
Doesn't want to play center. Dwight Howard can get you 12 and 10 easily, and his personality is not so strong to the point where he's gonna really let it clap. Now, if I'm wrong about this, I'll eat crow. But as shitty as Dwight Howard's attitude is, and as a locker room, like guys just don't think he's serious about winning anymore, because they think he's a big goofball. So that's kind of the knock on him. But if you playing like with AD and then Rondo and LeBron, and I just don't see that as being an issue.
Yeah, and I think it's about expectation. Like, expectations for Dwight aren't what they were the first time he was in LA. So he's not expected to be like carry the team on his shoulders, be the leading scorer, rebounder every night, and he knows that. So I think the expectations from the team, the outside, the fans, and from himself kind of lend to the fact that he is where he is in his career, and he's accepted that.
Man, if he can give us rebounds, block shots,
he will.
8 points, eight rebounds, he was a replacement for Boogie when Boogie got hurt.
Right.
So, to be able to come up with Dwight to slide him into that spot, because like you said, Anthony don't like playing center. So to have somebody else to play center along with Javal McGee, the Lakers making the playoffs.
Yeah, man. If Anthony Davis say, "Hey, I don't want to play center," you go sign Dwight Howard.
You gotta get Dwight Howard.
That's just what you do.
Yeah, and at that
especially
point,
if he's available.
Yeah, like the timing of it, like they were just kind of up against the wall with DeMarcus getting hurt. They really didn't have many choices, and I think they did damn good to get a Dwight Howard considering the timing of the injury. But again, we'll see. That's why we call it a bold prediction, right?
That was a bold prediction.
It was. So
I'm with Coach Staley on this one, though, yo. Sure don't know.
We're gonna have to start drug testing at Defy Life.
Hey, listen, man. If I'm right, hey,
we'll say you was right.
Yeah, it was right. We'll say it was right.
And we know you're going to let us hear about it. So, yeah.
No, I won't even bring it up.
Bring it up. Ain't nothing wrong with bringing it up.
Yeah. Now I can tell you you're wrong, because you damn sure going to let us hear about it.
At the present moment, shoot, I made a prediction about my Giants. We still got a chance. Right. So, I mean, it is what it is.
Ain't nothing wrong with keeping hope alive, my brother.
What you say, Money?
No, hey, listen.
No, y'all.
I ain't mad at you.
Numerically, we still have a chance.
I ain't mad at you.
Hey, it is what it is.
Man.
Numerically, got a chance.
Boy, y'all good and horrible.
All right. Well, before we get to this big announcement we got to make, I want to run something by y'all right quick. Did y'all see old man Mike with his big hoop earring in his left ear and his 1990 Steve Harvey suit say that Stephen Curry is not a Hall of Famer, and then tell everybody to get off his lawn? Did you see Mike do that shit? So I got a serious question. Fuck wrong with Mike, man?
The interesting thing is I remember on this very show us having a big debate, because I think the question was, if the Warriors win the title, is Steph Curry a legit Hall of Famer? I know I was like, Steph Curry's a legit Hall of Famer now.
The question was, is Steph top 10 if he wins again, if they win again?
Oh, I thought it was Hall of Famer, my bad. Because you are...
Yeah, I think everybody would have thought, like, even without, like, he's a Hall of Famer without.
Yeah, like...
That's no question.
Yeah,
But
to me, the question is, what the fuck is wrong with the reporter, whoever was interviewing him, and not asking a follow-up question like, why would you say that?
Right.
What do you mean by
straight
that?
up? What you mean?
Right, but again, like that's the MO through Mike's whole career. The media don't challenge Michael Jordan on anything he says, like nothing.
Yeah, I think because he's Mike.
Right, but like why? It's like that's a prime. Like, if you're doing your job as a reporter, Craig Melvin, Columbia's own, proud of you, by the way, for being who you are. But that's a shitty job of reporting. If you're not going to follow up, like that's a bold statement to say Steph Curry is not a Hall of Famer. If you don't follow that up, like why are you even there? Like that's.
Yeah, I mean, like what makes him not? That would have been my immediate question.
Right.
Just what
like,
makes him not?
Yeah,
Is it
I'd
the
immediately turn
accolades
into
he
a
got
4-year-old. Like, why?
Straight up. How come?
Exactly. Like, and then I mean, and now like that was even bolder than Mike refusing to budge off of his, all 80s and 90s players of his top 5, who he go into a starting 5 with. But you expect that, we all like our own errors.
Right, I can't blame him on that. I ain't mad at him.
I would have questioned him on that a little bit as well, but I can understand that. But yeah, to say Steph's not a Hall of Famer, like, I would want to know what are your, like, Steph has already scored more points than 88 members already in the Hall of Fame. So, and he's nowhere near
hit
done.
more threes than all of them,
And all
without
of them,
question.
right? And so, like, I really would have wanted to know why. Like, what's your criteria?
And what's going on there? Because apparently, like, that's a bold statement. So that's not out of nowhere. That's like,
yeah, like something's going on.
I think you meant like not yet. I don't.
Yeah, that's
I
what he said. Not yet.
He said, I think he said like not yet.
Yeah.
Why not though?
But that's what I want. Yeah,
I don't
even not
know.
yet. Like, why?
I don't know why not yet.
what you
I don't know why.
What you see that we don't see?
Oh yeah, right. Or what don't you see that we all see?
Right.
Maybe he just want. Maybe he literally is looking at the definitions of a Hall of Famer, a guy that's got to be retired for X amount of years. Like, I have no idea.
Maybe so.
No, he can't be. No, he's not a Hall of
be.
Famer. Yeah, what are you talking about? He's still playing.
I'll give Mike the benefit of the doubt. Maybe that's what he meant. That's the only thing. That's the only thing that makes sense. Jeez. All right. Well, like we said at the beginning of the show, we do have a big announcement to make. It's kind of bittersweet, actually. So word on the street is Money, West Coast, you guys are going to be getting your own show. What the hell? So those of you that have become accustomed to hearing this combination of voices, we're going to be making some changes. West Coast and Money are going to be getting their own show. So I'm going to leave it up to y'all. Tell us about it. And what can we look forward to hearing you two dudes together, with your brilliance together every week, alone without supervision.
See, therein lies the issue, is the without supervision. Like, I literally have a coffee mug that says, "In my defense, I was left unsupervised." Look, I like to drink from that thing every day, but microphone money is about to change everybody's life.
All right. Well,
like, it's we look. I'll tease it like this. We finna have a show. We gonna be talking about stuff y'all want to hear about. Leave
very
it that
enticing.
simple. Leave it that simple.
It's gonna be very, very dope. Excited to bring it to you guys. We've been kicking around a lot of good content for you guys. We're gonna bring you real life, man. We're gonna bring you real life, and we're gonna bring our personality. So it's gonna be serious, it's gonna be funny. Hopefully it's gonna be entertaining, and it's gonna be dope, man. It's gonna be dope. I'm excited. I'm pumped to get with my guy, and that's all I'm gonna get into right now. We'll bring you more a little later.
No doubt. Yeah, we'll definitely dig deeper into it as we get closer to the release. But yeah, so I think we got a couple more shows with you guys on, and then at the the 2 weeks from now will be Money and West Coast's final show as permanent hosts here on the Defy Life Show. Until they move on to their own show. But we'll definitely have them back every now and then. And hopefully, we'll show up on their show every now and then. So in that respect, nothing will change. But I'm looking forward to it. And again, as we get closer to the release date, we'll keep y'all posted. There'll be some other changes that'll happen. We've got another surprise in store for all the listeners, especially our longtime listeners. But yeah, so Money, West Coast, look forward to talking to each other as much as Lynn and Kim talk to each other.
Yep. Congratulations, fellas.
Hey,
thank you, good sir.
Appreciate them. The real will be back.
I know the real. It really ain't going nowhere.
The real ain't going nowhere.
It really ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it. Looking forward to listening.
So the way I see it, it's another dope ass show we'll have on the network. So more content for all of our listeners across the network, and as we've kind of scaled down on hours and time here on this show, kind of gives these two an opportunity to voice their full opinion on all topics that they want to talk about, and just kind of jump out there on their own and be able to dominate a conversation without me butting in and telling them we got to move on all the time. So looking forward to it. Happy for y'all.
Word.
Appreciate it, Joe.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So the one thing y'all can't take with you is trivia. That is ours, sir. So West Coast, you got trivia this week. Let me hear what you got, man.
So I was a fan of the lightning round with Al, but I'm also a fan of the list. Here's what we're gonna do. Since early today we were discussing money, I went to Forbes magazine for this particular list.
Money is your new co-host, or money is in?
No. Money is in dinero, as in dollars, as in who made the most.
I was like, what the fuck y'all say about money? But yeah, go ahead.
I mean, if I was on Forbes talking about money, I was clearly talking about the right dude.
You know how many fights done started like that? Yo, what the fuck you done said about money?
What you say about
Actually, there's been a lot of fights started just like that for real.
What you say about money?
It's taking his high voice on everybody. So here's since it is October and horror movies are a thing, I have a list in front of me of the top 25 highest grossing horror movies. Now, again, I want it on the record in advance. I got this list directly from Forbes magazine. Don't be blaming me for the shit that's on here.
Okay.
For the record.
Right.
Just know I got it from Forbes directly, and it is adjusted for inflation. So basically, they took any movie all time and gave it this year's ticket prices.
Okay.
Okay.
Well done.
So, with the top 25, we're going to go old school list style. Somebody, you give me a name. If it's on this list, you continue. If it's not, you out. Got to win on a bet, or you have to win on a correct answer, and that's what we got. Let's see. I feel like I lost last week.
I won last week.
It's on my nerves. Al hosted, and Money and Yosh wasn't there, so I'm gonna go with Money and Yosh in that order. So Jay, Al, Money and Yosh. Top 25 all-time highest grossing horror movies, according to Forbes magazine. I need that real clear. Jay, what you got?
Man, I'm rooting for everybody black. Get Out.
Get Out shows up as number 25.
Wow.
Barely made it, buddy.
With 179.1 million.
But I made it.
But you made it.
Made it. That's all that matters.
Scream.
That was my next one. Shit.
You gotta be a little more specific with regard to Scream. Because there's hell of them.
Oh.
Any of them?
The one that's on there.
The one that's on the list is what I'm going with.
I will give you Scream at number 18
Thank you,
with
sir.
$203.2 million.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Money.
Oh man, fuck. Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre is not on this list.
That kid ain't make it.
Man, get the
Hey, man.
True that.
You didn't make it.
Again, this is according to Forbes magazine. So there goes money. Yosh, what you got?
Money's the black guy. He died first.
Yep.
I'm gonna go with the first movie that ever scared the shit out of me and give me nightmares. The Exorcist.
The Exorcist is number 2 all time with $996.5 million adjusted for inflation.
That's crazy.
All right. Back to you, Jay.
I'm gonna go with Jaws.
Jaws is number 1 all time with $1.154 billion
Jesus Christ.
adjusted for inflation.
Jeez.
Because it was released in 1975.
Right.
Like the actual number is, hold on, I have this one. The actual number for Jaws is 327.5 million was its actual gross. But adjusted for this year's ticket prices, it would have made well over $1 billion.
Whew. Okay.
All right, Al, what you got?
Is Halloween on the list?
Is Halloween on the list, he asks.
This is Jeopardy, apparently.
Halloween at number 23
Hey.
with 181 million adjusted for inflation.
Okay.
Yo,
I'm just gonna keep going down my list of movies that scared the shit out of me. At number 2, Poltergeist.
Poltergeist at number 15 with 234.8 million. Jay.
Shit, I'm going Yosh's route. The shit scared the fuck out of me when it came out because I didn't know it was fake. But Blair Witch Project.
The Blair Witch Project at number 14 with 249.3
That was
million.
my next one, Jay. That's my next one.
Yo, that shit had me scared. So, like, me and Chad went to go see that shit together, and it was a summer. We were staying with my mom's, and Chad slept on the floor beside my bed. We were so scared, yo. Chad was like, man, I can't sleep in another room by myself, man. I'm just going to sleep right here on the floor. I was like, yeah, do what you do, because I ain't want to be in the room by myself either.
That shit was spooky.
Yeah.
Never scared. Never scared.
Yeah.
Al, what you got?
I'm gonna go with a recent one, so I'm gonna go with It.
It from 2017 is number 6 on the list with 328.9 million.
Good one.
Yosh, we back at you.
Okay. Going back, I'm going to stay on the theme of movies that scare the shit out of me. This movie made me not turn on the TV for a very fucking long time. The Ring.
The Ring at number 19 with 200.1 million.
Well, I ain't turned on my TV for a minute.
And that shit wasn't even that scary. It was just like
Nah, it was creepy
weird.
as hell, though.
And it was a new concept. Like, yeah, it was just, yeah.
Creepy as hell.
Like, I'm not turning on my TV. Y'all can kiss my ass.
Right.
Is that shit coming out the well? Is she?
Right. Where is she at?
Oh, fuck y'all. I'm out.
I need the shop vac all of a sudden. Why my floor wet?
Yeah, why's my floor? Yeah.
Jay, where you at?
Shit, I'm going. Fuck, I'm just gonna go sequels at this point. Jaws 2.
Jaws 2 is number 7 on the list with 312.
Oh shit!
I ain't
I like your technique. I'm not even mad at it.
Okay, so I'm going real. I'm staying old school. The Amityville horror movie.
Had a feeling you was going there. Being mentally ill from Amityville was 1979's $310 million number 8 on this list.
Okay.
Yosh.
Once again, staying in the list. at number 3. The Omen.
Damn.
Ladies and gentlemen, number 12.
That was the last old movie I had.
257 million. 257.7 at number 12 was The Omen.
Wow. I'm gonna go to that. We're going sequels, and I know everybody went to see this shit just recently. It 2.
It Chapter 2 with 195.7 sits at number 21.
All right.
Ooh, how about Scream?
You already
said that already.
Scream.
Say that already.
I was
Somebody
gonna
said
say,
that?
you said that.
You said it already.
I said Scream.
Yes,
you
Yeah,
did.
that was
And
like
I
the
also-
first answer.
That wasn't my first answer.
that was your
Yes,
first
it
answer.
was.
I was here when you said it.
Yeah, we all were.
Or I can't get that by y'all, huh? Okay.
Yeah, right.
Now, like West Coast said, there's a lot of motherfuckers, so you might want to throw a number at the end.
Oh, it was a Scream 2?
This was number 20.
Oh, yeah, my man, money.
197.3 million.
Money, my man, appreciate you.
The ghost of money rises up, giving out
Money
answers
with the
and shit.
assist in a mud.
Right.
Yeah, my bad. I'm supposed to be dead.
Good
my
looking
bad.
out. Good looking
Money
out.
should
Yeah.
look like Casper the friendly ghost on that one.
Is he dead?
Is he?
Is he dead?
Man.
If he dies, he dies. This is where I feel like it's about to get interesting.
Right.
Yeah, I'm about done.
Ain't but 13, 14 of them left. It's still 14 of them left. What you got?
Shit.
Wow.
Oh, Gremlins.
Gremlins at number 5 for
Um,
409.8 million.
Was that considered
Wow.
a horror? That's a horror movie?
Forbes magazine.
Excuse me, sir.
True that.
Excuse me, sir. It was my turn.
It was Josh's turn.
Oh shit.
So I would like to say Gremlins.
Fuck
Gremlins at number 5 for 409.8 million
Good guess, Josh. Good guess.
Damn.
is on the list. I like your technique. Yeah, but we say illegal procedure. That's a 5-yard
Right.
penalty. Repeat it down.
I got 2 more in my pocket. I need to be careful with these then. So is it my turn?
It is now your turn.
All right. Aliens.
Aliens. With an S?
I mean, whatever that shit is with Sigourney Weaver. Alien, whatever. You know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Aliens with an S is number 17. 1986, 206.8 million.
I'm gonna go Alien without the S.
Alien without the S is number 9 at 286.4 million.
Sir.
Alien.
Now, my choice in this movie, and I have no clue if it's there, but it scared the crap out of me because it was so fucking boring. But Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Oh shit.
Stoker's Dracula, ladies and gentlemen, is number 24
Wow.
with 179.2
dumb.
I like that. I think I like that movie.
Interview with the Vampire or something. That shit was
Oh
whack.
shit. I'm going Interview with the Vampire.
Interview with the Vampire, thanks to Casper the Friendly Ghost, is number 16.
Are you serious?
226.4 million.
Casper.
I pulled it completely out of my ass.
Thanks, Casper.
As a joke.
Casper the Money Ghost is holding y'all down right now.
Oh man.
Ain't
Can we
but
go
5 left.
Can we go Ghostbusters?
Jesus Christ. Number 3
Oh
on the list is Ghostbusters at
That's a horror movie?
$641.3 million. Yep, Forbes magazine.
If you go Ghostbusters, I gotta go Ghostbusters too.
You gotta go Ghostbusters 2 at number 13 with 255.3 million. This is hilarious. If
What
y'all get
the
through this whole
fuck?
list, I'm gonna be real impressed.
So we could just. So is this horror movies or anything that has to do with ghosts and monsters and shit?
Look, man.
Okay.
I told you at the beginning. I ain't make this list. Forbes magazine made this list.
Well, fuck it.
And
I'm just
this
gonna
was
start
their list.
Okay. Well, shit. I'm gonna go back to just root for anybody black. Scary movie.
Scary Movie's number 10 at
Get the fuck out of here, man.
Get the fuck out of here. That's a comedy.
262.5.
Are you serious?
Scary Movie is number 10. Now let's see how this works.
No fucking way.
Man, come on, man.
3 remain.
I know one.
Oh shit! I know. Yeah. Money, what you know?
Alice, on you. You better hope the Friendly Ghost helps you out again.
Okay. So I held this one in my pocket. It was one of my favorite movies. But has anybody said The Sixth Sense?
Sixth Sense is number 4 at 518.8.
This is one of my favorite movies.
Right. Yeah. I can't believe I forgot about that.
Okay, who's next?
I'm holding on. I got 2 movies I'm holding on to.
All right.
One of them was my dad's favorite scary movie for some odd reason because I didn't like it, but he loved this movie, The Deep.
Jesus Christ, that's number 22 at 191.3 million. That means there.
LL Cool J?
No, the 1977
version.
Oh, that was the 1977 version? Okay.
1977.
He loved the hell out of that movie. I don't know why.
For some reason, I know this shit ain't on the list just because nobody said it. But Friday the 13th?
Friday the 13th is not on this list.
Fuck.
And it should be.
Right.
What about the nigga that said when the nigga got killed and he was getting killed and he was like, "Oh God," and the dude said, "Do I look like someone that cares what God thinks?"
Is that Hellraiser?
That is Hellraiser.
Yeah.
That's not on the list.
Hellraiser's not on this list.
Are you serious? That shit used to petrify me.
Money, can you please stop giving out answers, sir?
Right.
That was the wrong.
Okay.
Money and Jay are now officially the 2 friendly ghosts. Well, Money
I
is
ain't
the
money
ghost.
friendly. I ain't
Jay
friendly.
is like Casper's brother, the one that wore the bowler cap.
Right.
Y'all know what
I'm Jasper.
Yeah, right.
Jasper the unfriendly ghost.
All right. Well, Al.
Damn.
If I'll take my one that's in my pocket, I'm done.
Let's go with What Lies Beneath.
Al just took the last one on this list.
Oh,
He took the one that was in my pocket. So we got to have a tiebreaker.
It's got to be a tiebreaker,
Right.
which means
Gotta be a tiebreaker.
now we get to go to good old-fashioned, passionate, just plain trivia. All right. We got tiebreaker questions coming out the blue.
Tiebreaker question. That's what I'm talking about.
Now we are going to I can't believe you guys got through all 25 of those movies just because, again, some of them on the list I was like, that ain't even a horror movie.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
according to Forbes magazine, yes it was. I also wanted on the record that Ghostbusters scared the shit out of me the same way it scared them 2 dudes when they ran down the street from the chick in the library. I'm just saying.
When them things when them little the dogs or whatever they were, them demons climbed off the damn perch on the building.
Yeah.
Boy, listen, them things scared the
Man.
crap out
But
of me.
if some of those are considered horror movies though, like wouldn't like Men in Black be a horror movie?
I think
that's sci-fi.
if you're
But
talking
shit,
about
so is like they got comedy.
Alien.
Yeah, alien
looked
sci-fi.
like sci-fi.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
scary
sci-fi.
movies and comedy.
If we go with the 25, like you guys just ran through the whole list of highest grossing with inflation. Without inflation, you start getting shit like The Meg,
Oh,
The
God,
Conjuring.
no.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Shutter Island, The Nun, The Village, The Grudge, Paranormal Activity.
Yo, The Grudge scared the shit out of
Grudge
me.
was another one.
Yo,
Yeah, The Grudge was only 110 mil.
yo.
So, and then the other one was Scary Movie 3 would have made that list as well.
They screwed. They
Forbes
reaching.
fuck around, put the
Yeah.
Terminator 1 on that shit.
Right.
Yeah, they tripping. All right, so we are going to good old-fashioned passionate trivia. Again, you cannot win on somebody else's missed question. So I'm just going to start asking questions pretty much about monsters and shit. They're going to go from easy to difficult. So starting with a quick one. Let's see. Al got that, so Yosh, it's on you. This race of giants has a single eye in the center of their forehead.
Cyclops.
That is a Cyclops. Alice, now on you. In the Odyssey, two of these beautiful singing maidens would lay on the edge of an island to try and lure ships, hoping they would crash on the rocks and die.
I don't fucking remember. Blair Witches.
A siren.
A siren is the correct answer. Thanks again to Casper the Friendly Money Ghost. Which leads to Yosh for the win. This historical figure is believed to be the basis of Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Get that countdown.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5.
Is that
Four,
shit? His name start with a V.
3.
Vlad.
Vlad?
Who?
Vlad the Impaler is absolutely correct.
Yeah.
And so Yosh with the victory, hard fought. Y'all went through a long list of. That was that you finished the list. I'm actually way more impressed with that than you're giving it credit for. So congratulations. The next question was about to be outlandish.
I'm glad we didn't get to outlandish.
Right.
Yeah, they was getting ready. I was getting ready to start bringing up dumb shit. Like, wait, what? You talking about what?
Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
It's not a charge.
So congratulations to you.
All right. Good game. All right. Well, shit, Yosh, you won, man. What you got for me? What's your parting shot?
Real simple. Fathers, be fathers. Man, if you had a kid, please be in your child's life, man. 4 young men today were arrested, and I wouldn't say it's not because the father wasn't in their life, but mainly because they just didn't have any guidance, and has led them to other negative influences that are taking on father figures in their lives. So fathers, be there. Man, I know it's stuff with your baby moms ain't working out. Shoot, just take the punishment and be there, because it ain't worth your kid ending up in jail or dead at the end of the day. And we got too much of that going on.
No doubt. Gotta second that. Al, what you got for me, man?
Mine is just, I spent the weekend showing the video that we talked about last show about with the scene at the gas station where the person is wilding out and running over people, Greensboro, right? And there was a person who watched it and could relate because they had done something similar.
What?
And were to the point that they were even commenting like, well, what she should have did when she hit that chick was it, and that's a whole nother subject, right?
Wow.
My point is, it just reminds me that, and we kind of talked about it, how common it really is for people. I mean, I'm not trying to over generalize, but more people than we know lose it and snap and do something that they probably would regret. And we gotta think more and watch out for that, because it's, life is precious. So that's all I gotta say.
Hey, okay. Money, what you got for me?
Yo, man. Just, love and adore people, your family. Never be afraid to let the people that you love know you love them. Because you really never know when they won't be here. Take that for what it will. But man, like, don't take people in your life and people that you love for granted. Let them know that you care about them. Be there for them. Show them. Oh, and if you're not rocking with Defy Life, what's your life about?
No doubt. All right. West Coast, you hosted, man. What's good? What you got for me?
Man, get back to the social media again. Take a moment to reduce your screen time significantly and actually experience what the real world has to offer.
All right.
There is stop and smell the roses. There's so many different cliches for all of it, but experience life and love it. Defy it as often as you can.
Word.
Damn right. Oh, well, I ain't got nothing crazy, man. I went to the coolest fucking wedding this weekend I've ever been to. I've never been to a wedding where I was like, yo, that shit was cool as fuck. So my wife's little cousin got married this weekend, so we made a quick trip to Florida. And for one, it was cool because it was the shortest wedding I've ever been to. She was like 10 minutes. And but they had, instead of the traditional best man, maid of honor, and a bunch of people in a line, you know, they had a best man and a best woman who were, the best man was his best friend. The best woman was her best friend. They also had a man of honor and a matron of honor. So that was a cool little twist. And they wrote their own vows. And the bride dropped the F-bomb in her vows. And everybody laughed. Nobody cringed up. And it was cool as fuck. So congrats, Dominic and Jamila. Cool-ass wedding. Proud of you guys. And I'm tired as fuck, and I'm paying for it still. So that's all I got, man. Lincoln starts its playoffs this weekend. So, money, we back on that Panthers bandwagon. So, yeah. So, as the coach told him, it's win or turn your shit in. So, it's time to get to business.
Motivation.
Love that.
All right.
All right, real quick, I also want to give a shout out to my cousin Jamel and Misha are getting married on Sunday, so I'm going to miss next week's show because I got to go to California and I will be traveling.
Safe travels.
But appreciate that. But I am also looking forward to a cool-ass wedding.
Absolutely. All right. Well, cool. Well, that's all we got. Again, Money, West Coast, congrats. Pooh, we miss you. Can't wait to hear your voice again. Man, I said that like he in jail or something. But yeah, he might be.
Hold it.
Go shoot to a kite,
Right.
Go shoot to a kite, bro. Don't worry about that. Keep your head up, pimp.
But yeah, we'll talk to y'all again next week. Until then, defy life.
Defy life.
Defy life.
For our life, y'all.
The summertime is winding down, so it's time to go ahead and get that fall wardrobe together. Check out the new fall line from Defy Life Gear. It's got all new designs, jackets, socks, and you gotta check out the brand new alternate logo. We also got sweatshirts for all the podcast gear you love so much. So go ahead and visit www.defylifegear.com. That's www.defylifegear.com to get your gear today. And remember, Defy Life, lifestyle defiant. It's defylifegear.com.